round one, fight! Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Movie Hero Network. This is Tournament Fights Battles number 31, our favorite documentaries. If you don't know what a Tournament Fights Battles is, I'll get into it in just a second, but it's a rather unique episode here on the Movie Hero Network of Tournament Fights. I will be your host tonight, Austin Howell, your full-fledged host. Jordan has the night off. He's hanging out with friends, and he's not much of a documentary guy, so luckily he was able to revert to me, which I am, and we're going to have some fun tonight talking about all documentaries, and I've got a great panel of documentary lovers here to celebrate that with me. So I'll bring them in one at a time. Of course, we got a regular here, Mr. Brian Nussbaum, who's a big documentary fan. How's it going, Brian?
It's good. First, a few years ago, not that many documentaries, but now when they start releasing docs about celebrities or topics that I do enjoy, I'm starting to get into it. So it should be a good time.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we got some great ones, and Brian's picked some good ones as well. We also got our friend Maria Hammon. She loves her documentaries. How's it going, Maria?
I love documentaries. I've learned so much, and I can't wait to talk about some of my ones that I love and that I'm so horrified by.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun. Great.
No, they can be documentaries can range from fun to entertaining to informative to depressing and scary, everything in between. That's what makes them great, is that you can cover any kind of topic. We also got another friend of the show, Mr. Kyle Flett. How's it going, Kyle?
I'm doing good. I'm a huge documentary fan, and a lot of these documentaries define what a documentary is, and there's a lot of amazing lists. I'm happy to talk about a lot of these with you guys tonight. So
yeah, no, it's gonna be a fun episode. Michael Wolfman Wyndham will be here as well. He's just running a little bit behind, but he picked some good ones as well. And yeah, how Tournament Fights Battles differs just a little bit from Tournament Fights is I didn't just go out there. We didn't go out there and just farm 64 documentaries. That would be way too tough to do, to just pick 64 to represent a documentary episode. So what we did was we went to our format where we do the battles. And essentially what that is then we get a panel of 5, and everybody submits their own favorites of whatever the topic is. So everybody here and Wolfman as well just got to submit 12 or 13 depending on what it was, but it got to submit. That's just how the math works out. But everybody got to submit their favorites, so just those ones you really like, ones that connected to you, really entertaining, whatever the case may be. And then we put them into the bracket. So we have 64 documentaries, but some of our favorites. So if you're looking for just great documentaries and great recommendations, if you're looking to get into documentaries, this is a great episode to get in on, as we're going to be talking about some really good ones here. And yeah, everybody picked some really great wide range of stuff, like Maria said, from the kind of historical stuff to the kind of depressing stuff to the entertaining and funny ones to like kind of biopic documentaries, if you will, about people, or different events. We got all kinds of things in this bracket, and it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, let's not waste too much time. We'll go ahead and get right into it. So I'll pull up the bracket here. Everything has been randomized. There's no, seeds or anything like that. It's just all been random. And so what we'll do is we'll pull them over. We'll give you a brief description about kind of what each one is, and then everybody will get a chance to vote on them as we do on regular tournament fights. So all you guys are veterans of the tournament fights format, so you know how it works. We'll scroll on over and see what our first matchup is. We got Fire of Love versus Jesus Camp, and I believe Fire of Love is a Maria pick.
Right.
Go ahead and pitch it real quick.
I forgot you were going to handle it.
No, it's fine. Go ahead and give us a quick 10-second pitch. Yeah, go ahead.
Two people that are geologists that follow and research lava all their life until it took chances, and finally they took the wrong chance and they ended up dying together in the lava. But it's a fascinating life. People that can do that kind of thing. That's not me, but they did a lot of research. They did a lot of great things for people that need to know about lava, how it works and all that stuff. So
that's not going to be the only one. A little spoiler of somebody who died doing something they love passionately.
That's my other one.
Yeah, you have another one on that.
I do.
And then Jesus Camp is my pick. It's one. I got to see in theaters when it came out, and it's essentially just a snap. It's just these people documenting these kids that go to these camps, these kind of Christian camps, and then them getting almost kind of indoctrinated into the religion. But there's no commentary or anything. It's just like the footage of them shot, and let you decide if it's good or not. What they're doing to these kids. So we'll start at the bottom with Kyle. Kyle, which one are you gonna roll for here?
Oh, well, they're both awesome documentaries. I have seen both. I think they're both amazing. But for me, I'm gonna go with the Fire of Love.
Fire Love. Okay. Maria, I'm assuming you're
Yeah,
going to vote for yours,
I'm
but
gonna
yeah.
pitch that. I just think it's an awesome. I mean, it's a look into the people that I could never think that way, and I'm sorry that they're dead. I mean,
Mhm.
they were doing good things up until that point, you know. So.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Jesus Camp was my last watch for this. I didn't get time for Fire Love, but I did enjoy Jesus Camp. And I'll go with that.
Jesus, yeah. Yeah, and I'm going to go with my. I did start to watch yours, Maria. I didn't get a chance to finish it, but I started Fire of Love because it
It's
sounded really
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like volcanoes and they're fascinating, and yeah, I didn't know the story of these two people that unfortunately passed away and got stuck in one, and yeah, I couldn't escape, but at least they were passionate about what they did, and
they love their job. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I guess it would be like somebody who studied tornadoes dying in a tornado. You died studying
exactly.
what you love, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I love Jesus Camp. Again, it's a great just portrayal of again these camps and these kids and like how they kind of beat stuff into their heads. And again, there's no commentary, so it's not somebody going like, look at what this thing that they're doing. It's just the footage, so it's you decide. And yeah, it's just a fascinating look at these kids. So I'll go with Jesus Camp, but we'll tie it up for now. And how we do ties, at least for now until Wolfman gets here, is we just start at the bottom and kind of work our way up. So Kyle, you got the tiebreaker here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Fire of Love.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, fair enough. No, fair enough. It's fine. But I do
really
recommend. Yeah, Jesus Camp is on Tubi if you want to check it out. I do recommend.
I do.
So.
Yeah, even told George he'll enjoy that type of movie as well because I think it's up his alley.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll scroll down. Next will be Hoop Dreams, which is a Wolfman pick, and versus the Oklahoma City bombing American Terror. Hoop Dreams is obviously the very famous documentary that Siskel and Ebert, pushed really hard back in '94. Yeah, about these kids trying to make their dreams of being in the NBA come true. So it's a good one. And yeah, and the Oklahoma City bombing is about the Oklahoma City bombing from Netflix. From Kyle. So pretty famous thing there. So we'll start with Maria.
I haven't seen Hoop Dreams. I do know about it, but the NBA. I watch the 30 on 30 or whatever whenever something like that comes up. But I don't watch every basketball thing that happens. But the Oklahoma City, I have seen that one. That is an excellent. It isn't like preachy or anything. It's just a documentary of how it went down and they did what law enforcement did and how they did it and all that stuff. I like those kind of things. I like to hear all the ins and outs of what how they found out what and what when. So I'm booked for that.
Oklahoma City. Okay, sounds good. Brian.
Yeah, we'll go Hoop Dreams on this one. I do enjoy the life of these kids in the NBA. Was it nominated for the Oscars that year or no?
No, that was the thing that Ebert ranted about. Is it wasn't even nominated for Best Documentary, and he went on a rant about how even to this day, the people who vote for documentaries most of the time they have this weird thing where they don't want to nominate something popular. It's very strange. He was ranting about that in the '90s. Yeah, he was talking about that in the '90s, and he railed against it really hard. But he was also a big proponent of the movie, helping the movie become successful. So that was at least good on them.
I'll go Hoop Dreams on this one.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm also going to go Hoop Dreams here. I haven't seen the Oklahoma City bombing documentary, that one specifically, but I'm familiar with. I have seen other documentaries about Oklahoma City, just not this most recent one. So I'm very familiar with the topic, and I do like kind of true crime sort of stuff. So, it's fascinating. But I'll go Hoop Dreams because I've seen it, and yeah, it's an interesting, narrative, and you really get invested in these kids' dreams of becoming, NBA, and there's some heartbreaking stuff in there, some triumphant stuff. So yeah, I like it a lot. I'll go Hoop Dreams. Kyle.
I have not seen Hoop Dreams, but I'll definitely check it out very soon. But I have seen the Oklahoma City bombing. It's a really good one, so I'll go with Oklahoma City.
All right. So yeah, this might end up like this. We need Wolfman here to break these ties.
I was gonna say we need another good person.
But Maria, it'll go up to you. What you
I'm gonna do the Oklahoma City. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Hoop Dreams loses again, unfortunately.
I have seen. I haven't seen it, but I will catch it out. I will.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully, I'll message him. Maybe you can see what his ETA is.
Hurry up.
All right.
Yeah.
Robin Williams come inside my mind. That's a Brian pick, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a Robin Williams, kind of biopic documentary. Yeah. And then, another one of Brian's, Street Gang. Yeah, but it's a Sesame Street documentary about the making of and the history of Sesame Street.
Wow.
So it's pretty self-explanatory stuff, but Brian can talk about both of them. He's up first, so go ahead.
Yes, both of them are mine. I discovered one was coming to mind a few years ago. I really did enjoy it. Street Gang was the first time I watched it last year, and it's great how the history beside Sesame Street. But I will see another one on this format later on for Jim Henson. But it's close. I will go with Street Gang.
Street Gang sounds good. Yeah, no, I've seen the Robin Williams one. I saw it when it came out, and yeah, it is very good. And yeah, using a lot of his archive footage and his own words and things like that, and I appreciate that. But yeah, the Street Gang one was interesting because yeah, it has like kind of a Jim Henson connection there. Yeah, since he started it, and yeah, it's fascinating. And I grew up watching Sesame Street, so I think I'll go Street Gang here. Kyle?
Yeah, I just think both documentaries are phenomenal, but I love the Sesame Street one, so I'm going to Street Gang as well.
All right, Maria.
That's a blind spot for me on both of them. I won't watch the Robin Williams one because it makes me sad, and I don't like to be sad. I've got enough problems. But Street Gang, the funny thing about it, probably nobody knows this, and it's kind of weird. I have a Rolf puppet doll that came from the 1960s when he was on Jimmy Dean's show, and that was Jim Henson manipulating them back then. And he played the piano and I did all this stuff. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing someday. Nobody wants it in the family. I'm like, it's cute. It's a dog. But anyway, I want to see that. I had no idea there was anything like that. So I'm excited. I've got 3 of them written down right now.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like I said, this is a great one to get recommendations, even if you haven't seen it. Yeah, if you love documentaries, we're going to get some good ones here. All right. It looks like Street Gang's going to win this one. So there we go.
It's a good double feature with Jim Henson. Yeah, man. It's good.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it makes a great double feature because they both have a Henson connection, obviously. So, yeah, that works very well. All right. We'll go Won't You Be My Neighbor about Mr. Rogers. Pretty self-explanatory. That's a pretty popular one in theaters. People checking out the history of Mr. Rogers and his show and some of the charity stuff he did. And then we got Dave Chappelle's Block Party, which also came out in theaters, which I saw in theaters. It's just kind of chronicling Dave going around, setting up this block party and this concert, and a little bit of the community there. So did I get that right, Maria? I think it's pretty much most of that.
I think it's pretty good. The thing I liked about it was there's a lot of camaraderie in the neighborhood. I mean, people leave him alone where he lives and all this stuff. But I mean, when there's something to do and he wants them to come, they do. I mean, I don't know how he's able to manage that. I mean,
I'm up first. Yeah, I'm gonna go Won't You Be My Neighbor here. I saw it in theaters. I remember really liking it. And that's another one that it was one of those rare documentaries that got popular and did well at the box office. It got some people to go see it, and I think it just shows the power of Mr. Rogers and how many people grew up with him, and just what kind of a genuine guy he was. And one of those pure documentaries where it doesn't have the downfall where it's like, and here's the part where he was in the dumps and he was addicted to drugs and his life went down and all that. It doesn't have that. He's just a good guy who lived a great life and did a lot of great things. And here's the history of it. It's great. So I'm going to go Won't You Be My Neighbor. Kyle?
Yeah, I've seen both of these once again. David Chappelle one's a fantastic one, but Won't You Be My Neighbor is another awesome one. So I'm going to go with that one. Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Sounds good, Maria.
That's the same thing with me. I like the Dave Chappelle one. I love him as a comedian and everything. But, Mr. Rogers, there's something about him, the calmness that he brings, and the great quotes everybody said, when people are in trouble, look for the people that are helpers. And I mean, what kind of person does? I mean, he was selfless. I would vote for that one for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Brian?
Yeah, I'm also going to be my neighbor. I wouldn't classify it as a family movie like how Wolf does, but I do love it. Won't You Be My Neighbor gets my vote.
Yeah, no, it's a great one. So if you haven't gone and checked it out, it's a really just heartwarming documentary. Good stuff. So
and also PBS matchup next round.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, and this might be an interesting one if they face each other, but we got Jim Henson, Idea Man, who we just talked about. And we've got The Fog of War, and Jim Henson, Idea Man, is obviously kind of a bio, documentary of Jim Henson, his history with the Muppets and the puppets, and again, another documentary was just about a good guy who didn't really. The worst thing about him was he was a workaholic, and it kind of interfered with some of his family commitments sometimes. But it's just because he wanted to perfect, his craft and things like that. And I think The Fog of War is yours, Kyle. I believe. I think.
Yeah, it was about Robert McNamara and all those war little experiences that was going on in that time. So that's a little short.
Right.
During what war? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, it was the experiences during the war in 2003 and all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Former Robert McNamara, Iraq and all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, Kyle, you're up first, so you can tell us a little bit more about it. Go ahead.
Oh, The Fog Wars, I think, is amazing documentary based on that war in 2003 and all the Iraq stuff, especially following, after 9/11 and all that stuff. And it's about Robert McNamara, all his stories in that era, early 2000s. But the Jim Henson one is phenomenal. I grew up with the Muppets, and I love what his stuff was doing. These both are amazing documentaries. This time, usually I would choose the one I chose, but this time I'm going to go with the Jim Henson one. So.
Okay. No, fair enough. Hey, that could happen.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, sure. Maria?
I haven't heard of the Bottle War. I mean, I can't believe Robert McNamara's still around. I mean, he made so many mistakes in the Vietnam War. I don't know how he managed to eke himself out to be that still in power. But I'm going to vote for Jim Henson. I got the warm fuzzies for him tonight.
Yeah, for sure, Brian.
I also what Jim Henson said, yeah, man. It was a bit top five last year. What I love about it is you see archive footage of the Muppets and also bits and pieces of the Muppets attraction in Walt Disney World.
Oh.
Well, Jim Henson said, yeah, man. Last act of it.
I think they took that down, didn't they?
I think did they take it down yet?
I think they're
June 7th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so if you want to see it, watch it soon. Yeah, I don't know why Disney Plus takes off their original stuff. That just
not Disney Plus, the attraction Walt Disney World for the Muppets.
Oh, the attraction you're talking. Oh, that's right, the Muppet 4D thing. Yeah, yes. That's right. I got you. I was gonna say, I hope the documentary still up. I just say Disney Plus is notorious for pulling off their original content.
I know why they do that.
I don't know why.
Doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense, and then it's not even available to like rent.
They won't sell it. That's the thing with like Hamilton. I've been trying to buy Hamilton. They won't sell it.
You're right. It's silly, but I have heard of the Fog of War documentary. I haven't get a chance to see it yet, but I've read books that are kind of about that time period, so I'll check it out at some point. But yeah, the Jim Henson doc was one of my good surprises of last year. It made my honorable mentions of 2024. Yeah, not it was in my top 10 in the first half of the year, and then I had some other stuff that just kind of eked it out, but it was still in my honorable mentions for the year. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, great. It's directed by Ron Howard. It's really good. So yeah, I highly recommend that. So I'll also go Jim Henson. All right, so we'll roll through the idea man here. All right, and we'll go down to Butterfly in the Sky, more family kind of family PBS kind of ish stuff here versus Cropsey. And I believe Butterfly in the Sky is the stuff with LeVar Burton and the Reading Rainbow and a lot of the activism he does about reading and some of the history of that show and whatnot. And Cropsey, I believe, is that yours as well, Kyle? I believe.
Yeah, it was about the New York City urban legend, convicted child kidnapper of Staten Island. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So kind of a crime documentary as well.
Yeah, crime documentary. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. All right, Maria.
I guess I'll vote for Cropsey. No offense to LeVar Burton, but I've seen enough of him over the years. He does a great job. I'm not trying to denigrate him. I'm just saying I'm more interested in the real true crime and stuff like that. Right. I think it's both for Cropsey. Thank you.
I got you. Yeah, Brad.
Yeah, I haven't got one to Cropsey, but one first one was my picks. I really did enjoy see how they made the TV show, how they showed LeVar Burton, also see how they made the theme song to it. It's great. So I'll go Butterfly in the Sky for myself.
Now you make me
This is a tricky one because I've seen both of these because I saw Butterfly in the Sky in the theaters last year. I was able to see it at my art house theater that unfortunately flooded with Helene. It's unfortunate because they got a lot of cool stuff here and there. And I saw Cropsey on DVD. I think I rented it at some point from Netflix. Remember when Netflix did DVDs in the mail and that no longer exists anymore? I think I rented it from the Netflix DVD.
I found about 8 of them in somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it was just a case where once they went out of business, if you happen to have some, they just let you keep them. It's just like there's no point in sending them back. But I'll go Butterfly in the Sky here. Yeah, I do enjoy Reading Rainbow. I kind of grew up with that. And it's another like kind of just nice documentary, that gives you the warm fuzzies and good feelings, kind of like, Jim Henson and Won't You Be My Neighbor. So I'll go with that. But Kyle?
Yeah, Butterfly in the Sky is a really good one. But yeah, I love true crime with Cropsey, so I'm choosing Cropsey.
Sounds good. All right, Brian, you got the tie this time.
I'll go Butterfly in the Sky.
Butterfly in the Sky. We got a lot of these ones that are going to be kind of similar going up at each other. There might be some tough choices. Yeah, a lot of these kind of PBS nice guy documentaries. All right, so we got Woodstock 99 taking on, I believe it's called Man with a Movie Camera. It's one of Wolfman's kind of foreign docs. I think it was just about a guy making movies or something like, kind of a movie making documentary. Again, it's one of his picks, so if he was here, he could spell it a little bit more. And I believe Woodstock 99, was that one of yours as well, Kyle, I believe? So you can.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I know it's pretty self-explanatory with the title, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's the Woodstock from 1999 that just all went wrong for a lot of reasons.
Try to recreate it. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then unfortunately they tried to recreate the one in the 60s, I believe.
That was just a thing that happened. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was a big disaster. It was like unorganized, and then it was like
people
the
were out of their
stage
minds.
Breaking, riots were breaking out, all kinds of crazy
stuff happened to people in the crowd, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, Brian.
Try that.
You haven't gone about either of these, but I will go with Man with a Movie Camera.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Woodstock '99 one because I think I at least saw the trailer for that one. I didn't watch it, but I'm familiar with the Woodstock '99 stuff. And yeah, it was like when Limp Bizkit was playing, like the stage was falling, getting mobbed, and like
Oh, I
falling
remember
apart.
that
And
now.
yeah, there was like a riot out there. Like yeah, during the thing, people were like setting fires in the fields. It was madness. Yeah, it was a big disaster trying to recreate Woodstock. Yeah, and I remember just being a giant clusterfuck, if you want to say that. So I'm gonna go with the Woodstock '99 one. I'm more familiar with that one. But Kyle.
Yeah, both these are amazing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Woodstock '99 because that was a really unique. They really told that about very, very well. Yeah, I couldn't believe the crazy that the bathrooms were even horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, Woodstock '99.
All right, gotcha, Maria.
Well, I just thought, like I said, I thought you guys were something was wonky with the numbers. I was alive in high school or going into high school,
Sure.
and it was something organic like that just happens out of nothing and it becomes something so nostalgic. You can't repeat organic. I mean, how are you going to do that? I could have told them, hey, that's probably not a good idea, but they don't care what I think. But anyhow, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to vote for that because I want to see what went wrong and how it went wrong and all that. I love those too. Where the buildings collapse and then you find out later how it come. Whatever happened.
Yeah.
I like that too.
And just to give Wolfman his props with his movie's from 1929. It's one of the earliest documentaries. It's about a guy
really?
just documenting urban development in a city, and from 1929. It's an hour and 8 minutes long. So yeah, it's out there if you want.
An hour and 8 minutes. That's short for a Wolfman movie.
Yeah, right. No, old school
29.
there. But, yeah, 1929. So it has to be one of the earliest documentaries.
Interesting
for sure.
footage, I bet.
Yeah. All right. So we got Crumb, documentary, and we got Best Worst Movie. So I believe Crumb is that one of yours, Maria? I believe.
No, I don't think.
Or was that Wolfman? Or was that Wolfman's again? I think that was
Wolfman, maybe.
Yeah, that was one of his. I know of it. Let me look it up and make sure I got the right thing.
Cartoon.
Yeah, we had it in our 1994 tournament. Yeah, it's about a cartoonist named Robert Crumb and kind of his history, and he's got a really dysfunctional family and just the whole thing. And yeah, so but Best Worst Movie is one of mine, and I got to see it in the theater on a double feature with Troll 2 because it's about the infamous bad movie Troll 2. And so the guy who's the kid in Troll 2 made a documentary about Troll 2, the making of. He reunites all the actors, the director who was like this foreign guy who didn't speak English, and then he documents kind of the cult of Troll 2. He goes around to different screenings and like people who watch it for fun and like some different horror conventions and things, and sort of just how it became this like cult favorite of like the best worst movie, kind of like The Room, like Troll 2 is like an infamous.
Oh, you got that.
So if you've ever seen the clip where the kid goes, "They're eating her, then they're going to eat me. Oh my god!" Have you ever seen that? That's from Troll 2. So, anyways, yeah, it's my turn anyway. So I'll talk. But yeah, Best Worst Movie. I got to see it on a double feature with Troll 2 at a place called Sunray Cinema in Jacksonville. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, seeing the documentary and then that. But yeah, it follows the guy who plays the dad. He's a dentist in like Georgia or Alabama, and yeah, and he kind of starts going to these conventions and stuff. And some people know what it is, some people don't, so it gets awkward sometimes. And yeah, just following like how it became like a cult sensation and the reuniting everybody to reminisce about it. It's just a lot of fun. I like documentaries kind of about movie making and the entertainment industry and stuff. So yeah, I'm voting for Best Worst Movie obviously because it's mine. But I've heard a lot about Crumb. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But Kyle?
Yeah, I'm the same thing about Crumb, but I love Best Worst Movie. I like to learn that kind of stuff as well. So Best Worst Movie for me.
Okay, sounds good, Maria.
I'm running out of paper.
I know, you gotta get another piece of paper. You're gonna get a lot of
I'm writing down so many ideas. I think I'll vote for yours, Austin. Even though the Crumb one, though, I've never heard of it before, but it is intriguing. I would like to check it out at least. So.
Sounds good. I have the DVD of Best Worst Movie, and the case is green, the disc is green. It's pretty cool. I like that.
That's your color palette, and that's the kind of poster.
Yeah, right. Brian.
Yeah,
me.
This will be also Best Worst Movie, so Best Worst Movie.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, it's fun if you like bad movies or just movie making and and entertainment history stuff. It's fun.
Mac and Me, I could watch that 100 times.
Yeah, it's kind of Trolls is kind of like Mac and Me. It's just kind of an infamously bad movie. It's fun. All right. So we got This Film Is Not Yet Rated, which is another one of mine, and Super Size Me. I think everybody's familiar with Super Size Me. It's kind of one of those famous documentaries. Yeah, Morgan Spurlock eating McDonald's for 30 days, and getting hooked on McDonald's and going through the fast food industry. this film is not yet rated as mine. I'll just pitch it real quick before I go to Kyle. It's about the MPAA, the ratings board that rates movies, and kind of the history of the ratings board. And then it does all kinds of interviews with different filmmakers, including like Kevin Smith and some other people about their battles with the ratings board over the years, and like how some big studio films get more leeway than like independent films when it comes to getting favorable ratings. And then they actually submit their own documentary for a rating, and so they get to look at the process of how it actually works. So it's fascinating, again, about the history of ratings and kind of how wonky the ratings have been over the years and everything. So that's what that movie is. It's always been one of my favorites. But Kyle, go ahead.
Yeah, that one is awesome because it's what they go through, especially in the 80s and 90s, what people had to go through with the MPA.
Well, in horror movies, they talk about how horror movies got cut to shit in the 80s. Remember in the late 80s how Friday 13 went through the ringer trying to get like R ratings, and just how they had to cut their movies to shit.
Yeah.
Really bad. Yeah, really bad.
So I remember how Wes Craven did it with his films as well. So yeah, I do know about this documentary. It's amazing. And Super Size Me, yeah, that documentary is excellent as well. So both these are excellent. This is a little tough one, but I'm going to go with Super Size Me.
No, fair enough. Yeah, it's a very famous one. He did a sequel about chicken, right? Like about chicken sandwiches and stuff, like Super Size Me 2, something chicken or whatever.
Super High Me.
Super High Me with Doug Benson, where he smoked weed for 30 days, which is what he does anyways, which is silly. But very good.
I've always thought, I wondered if that diet had helped contributed to his demise. But anyway, film board that stuff. When I was a kid, I remember them coming on in these serials, they talk about this thing is not going to go, or whatever. And the guy that was running that stuff was like halfway nuts, wasn't he?
It was like Jack something. Yeah, he was a madman. Yeah, he was a very high on censorship and and he made everything miserable, and they didn't release anything. Oh, I'm going to try. I haven't seen it, but I'll vote for that. I've seen poor Martin or what? Morgan Spurlock.
Morgan. Yeah. I'll go for the film. It's not rated. Thank you.
This one was not rated. Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's kind of hard to find, but somebody actually uploaded it with the special features on YouTube. So
really?
The one on YouTube is like over 2 hours because they included even the deleted scenes and stuff like that too at the end.
I try to upload stuff, and I don't get.
It's I don't know. Some people can get it. Maybe I guess if the people don't care that they uploaded it, the people who made it, like if you don't care, it comes up to them. But yeah, so all right. Jack Valenti. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that.
That's
Jack
Valenti.
Yeah, he's featured heavily in the archive footage. Yeah, he was a madman. Like he went on.
I tell you what, he was back in the day.
Yeah, but anyways, Brian.
Yeah, I didn't have time to get to this film anyway, but I do enjoy Super Size Me. It's sort of the horrors of the fast food industry almost, and even had a good News Buzz episode where it parodied Super Size Me, so go Super Size Me.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh yeah, that's right. He also did the advertising one. He did the "Where in the World Is Osama bin Laden?" Yeah, he did a couple of those.
He did Simpsons as well.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go with mine and go. This film is not yet rated because again, I love entertainment. Movies, kind of documentaries about movies and movie history, and it's really fascinating. And yeah, I love the interviews that they got with the different filmmakers. The lady who directed like American Psycho is featured in it, about the battle she had with American Psycho, and just all kinds of crazy stuff that they've had to deal with. And they even go and try to identify the people who actually rate the movies. Like they hire a private investigator to investigate who's actually rating these damn movies, and if it's actually a diverse group of people, age and ethnic wise. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's a bunch of old people.
I was just gonna say it's got to be a bunch of old people.
So they close that.
Representing really as an old person myself.
Yeah, it's really good. So all right, but I'm gonna vote for myself. I believe that's 2-2. We have another tie, but it's on me this time. So I'm gonna put the underdog there. I'm gonna go a little rated here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to spread the word on it because it's a really entertaining documentary. So
to be honest, Austin, if I had to break the tie, I would have chose that one too. To be honest.
Cool. Yeah. Now I just want to spread the word about some ones that are kind of underseen as well. That are really cool. So all right, we'll scoot on down. We got Will and Harper, which is another recent one from last year. Yeah, which is yours. And then Room 237, which is a documentary about The Shining and all the conspiracy theories and the fan theories about the stuff in the background and the stuff that doesn't make sense logistically about the hotel and Stanley Kubrick and some of the weird things in the movie. Did I cover it, Flex? I've seen it a couple of times. Yeah, I mean that's basically what it is. It's all the fan theories about The Shining and Kubrick and all that kind of thing. And then Brian, you can tell us quickly about, or it's your time anyway. So go ahead and tell us about Will Harper. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, Will Harper is great. It's like not your typical documentary. It's more this road trip between these two friends who worked on Saturday Night Live together, reuniting, and now the person, now a woman, talk about transgender talk. And it's great. It's a great documentary. It has a great song, and Harper Will Go West. I'm so mad that they didn't get nominated at the Oscars this year. Should have been nominated for either song or documentary. But I'll go Will Harper.
Yeah, and yeah, I might go Room 237 here because I also got to see that one in the theaters, and yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it's a lot of talking heads just talking about what does Stanley Kubrick mean by hanging this picture in the background, and the way he laid this furniture out this way, and the patterns on the carpet, and the kids wearing a rocket sweater. Does that mean he faked the moon landing? It's all kinds of like weird stuff about what the numbers mean, what this and the other means, and Kubrick's process, and and I love The Shining as well, just as a movie, so it's a nice kind of companion piece to that. So I'll go Room 237. But Kyle, I know
Wolf
that.
is in the comments, by the way.
Oh, is he? Yeah, he said he might try to vote in the comments. So
Okay.
yeah, because he's going to try. I think he's heading home right now, so he's going to try to at least vote in the comments.
Then.
So we will count his votes if he wants to. So so vote Will and Harper. Sounds good. Kyle, go ahead.
Well, Harper is a really good one as well. So a good pick, Brian. But Room 237 is just everything about The Shining and all that stuff. But yeah, Room 237 for me.
Sounds good. Maria?
Same for me. I'll go vote for that one. I haven't seen it, but haven't seen the other one either, and it doesn't sound as good or intriguing anyway. I always like the movie stuff. I'm like you. I like the movie stuff. I like the dead people.
The true crime and the movie stuff. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And sometimes a little bit of both. You can have true crimes that involve movies.
Like the Black Dahlia and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so Room 237 we'll go through this time. All right. We
Yeah.
gave Will and Harper some love on the end of the year tournament last year to get all
Okay.
So yeah, we had it get some room there. All right, going for Flea, which I believe is another Wolfman. I'll look it up and get to that. And I know that voice, which I also own on DVD. It's a Brian pick, but I'm very familiar with this one. Yeah, it's about voice actors. It's about people who people who voice cartoons and do animation and just those great character actors that always voice things. So you get to see a lot of them throughout the thing. A little history with like Mel Blanc and Looney Tunes, and there's a lot of history of voice acting and how people got into it. So it's a lot of fun. I think I did justice to it, Brian. I have seen it, so I'm very familiar with it. But yeah, and then Flea, I will look up and make sure I get the synopsis correctly here. That's a Wolfman pick. It says he's got kind of a secret that's been hidden for 30 years, and it's going to derail his personal life and his soon-to-be husband. But it's an animated documentary, apparently. So both of these are kind of animation a little bit. So it's an animated documentary. I believe Wolf has mentioned this one before. That's an animated documentary. So all right, going with me. Yeah, I'll go with I Know That Voice because I've seen that one as well. I blind bought it on DVD when it came out. Yeah, because I love like voice actors. I listened to Rob Paulson's podcast for a little while when that was on, and that was a lot of fun. He's in the documentary, and I just find the history of animation pretty fascinating. So I'll go with that. Kyle?
Yeah, they both are amazing, but I love knowing what voice actors do. There's so many talented voice actors and how the animation, especially growing up with Mel Blanc, who could do so many more voices. I Know That Voice, so I'll go with that one.
All right, Maria?
I'm going to go with the voice one. It sounds fun. I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen the other one either. I'm sorry. But I'm more intrigued by the voice actor one. I'd like to I don't know if you've seen it or not. There's a podcast about people finding people that used to sing for people, like Marnie Nixon, dubbed for Natalie Wood in West Side Story, and all these other My Fair Lady, and she, nobody knew who she was, but she was doing that stuff, and we didn't know it at the time. But now this guy exposes and lets them have their due, and that's so fascinating. So this has got to be just as good, if not better. So I'm excited about seeing it.
All right, sounds good. Of course, Wolf's voting for his. You got to be here, brother. You got to sell these things, man. You got to get people on your side. I know he's on his way. I think so. But Brian,
I haven't gone about to Flea, but I Know That Voice is your mind. I love voice actors, especially at conventions, meeting them in person.
Alan,
and I'll go with Know That Voice.
All right, I Know That Voice. All right, we got some good ones going through here. Yeah, good stuff here. Well, Wolf voted for his own in the comments, but yes, so not quite, but very close. All right, we got Life Itself, which is the kind of Roger Ebert biopic. I get to see this one in the theater as well, so that was great. I think this is one of yours, Kyle, right? But I had it on my honorable mention, so I'm very familiar with it. But yeah, it's Roger Ebert. It's has a lot of the history of Siskel and Ebert in the middle of the movie, so you get to see a lot of cool archival footage of them, and his struggles. Obviously, they have with his health later in life, and him going through everything in his personal life. So that's it. And then Mr. Dress Up, is that one of yours, Brian?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, give us a quick pitch on that one. Yeah,
Mr. Dress Up is a documentary about him. It's like Richmond, my neighbor, almost, but he's known for Canada. He's the same Mr. Rogers. You get like interviews with different Canadians, history of the show, and and also you find out that Mr. Dressup, Eric Coombs, used to work with Mr. Rogers on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and you find out about it. So Mr. Dressup is on my list.
So it's essentially the Canadian Mr. Rogers documentary. There
Exactly.
You go. Hey, all right, sounds good. Kyle, go ahead.
Oh, Mr. Dressup documentary is awesome. I used to watch a lot of that reruns back when I was a kid, so it's awesome. But Life in Itself is amazing about, one of the greatest critics ever, Roger Ebert. So, and him and Cisco, it's amazing about that stuff and what his life and towards the end too as well. So I'm going to go with Life Itself.
What's really funny about Roger Ebert is he went to school at the University of Illinois, which is about 45 miles out away, and he always every year had a film festival here in the Virginia Theater, and I got to see him several times. He's a very personable guy. He was always nice to everybody. Mm-hmm. And then when he got sick later, I felt bad, but he's the one who told Oprah Winfrey not to when she started her show. He had a date with her because he's married to a black woman. He had a thing for black women, I guess, at that time. So he dated her, but told her, we're just going to be friends, but don't let them talk you out of doing syndication. You'll make a fortune. And she credits all of her money, and all of her life to Roger Ebert's advice. So I think that was kind of an interesting side bump. I'm trying to do a little fun fact there. But anyway, I'm going to vote for that one because I've seen him in person and he was great. And then when he got sick, it was really hard to, how it is with everybody. When they get sick, you don't know what to say. They've got all these physical, damage or whatever. It's like, what do I tell him? Sorry that happened to you. So.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Brian?
Yeah, I watched Life of Itself yesterday for this. I did enjoy it. It's great. It's sort of like a based on his book, autobiography almost, because voice actor voice over his book. And you see the different pieces of the show as well, and see why he didn't let Cisco at first. But yeah, I do enjoy both, but I'll go with mine with Mr. Dressup.
Sounds good. And like I said, I got to see Life Itself as another of those documentaries I was lucky enough to see in theaters when it came out. Came out in the Art House Theater back in Jacksonville. Yeah, it was great. And it's one of those ones that might make you tear up, especially, near the end when Ebert unfortunately, passes away. But I'm glad we got those years, even when he was, kind of disabled, that he was still able to type and see movies and still do his reviews, online was still cool. And I love Siskel and Ebert, going back on YouTube and watching old Siskel and Ebert. I'll watch the best of.
Sometimes they get so mad.
They get mad, but it's great. I miss shows like that, and their chemistry was awesome. Yeah, no, that's what I made to care of. But that he hated North. Yeah, it's great, and you get to see some cool behind the scenes footage in there of them kind of bickering back and forth when they're taping promos and stuff, and it's really fun. I'm gonna go with Life Itself as well. That's a great documentary. So all right, Life Itself will roll through on this one. All right, we'll go down to The Backyard, which I'll tell you about in a second, and For All Mankind, which is a Wolfman pick about the moon landing and all the preparation that went into that from 1989. I'm familiar with that one as well. The Backyard is one of two wrestling documentaries I have on here, and it's kind of like, if you know Beyond the Mat, it's like Beyond the Mat for backyard wrestling, and it's fascinating. It's a guy going around to different states of these different people that put on backyard wrestling promotions. These guys just beating the hell out of each other and making each other bleed, and just the how it's fascinating to them to wrestle in these backyard setups, just in their neighborhoods. And one of the guys is trying out for Tough Enough, so he's trying to become, get into WWE, and his chronicle him trying to get on Tough Enough. It's kind of a wrestling documentary, but a different type of one, just on a ground level, backyard wrestling. And then For All Mankind is For All Mankind, moonland documentary. So, Maria, you're up first on this one.
I think I'll go with the moon landing one. I don't know the other one. I have seen some footage of backyard WWE type, setups. They hit each other with real chairs and stuff, and it's I think the prop ones maybe a little bit less, exciting. But I was going to I'm going to vote for All Mankind, but I forgot the one I wanted to put on the list, and it was about the movie about the pharaohs from 1923, where they left all the debris in the sand where they filmed it. I mean, it was giant statues, and they got covered by sand, and they really thought people were archaeologizing. I forgot that one. That's a good one if anybody ever wants to watch that. It's all about the movie The Pharaoh.
I would say if any of us have honorable mentions we're gonna throw out there when we get to the end of this bracket before we go to the speed round. No, I'm just saying when we get to the end of the bracket, if there's any other ones you want to shout out at the end, we'll do that before we get to the speed round.
Just remembered it. It just popped in my head.
It's all good. So hang on to that. We'll do some other additional recommendations when we get to the end of the other side, for sure. But Brian, what you got here?
Yeah, I haven't gone to for all mankind, but when I was searching for it, it popped up the TV show for some reason, not the documentary.
Yeah.
But I will go with the backyard on this one.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, and I have seen For All Mankind. It's very good. Yeah, it's on Max right now, I believe. If you have, or sorry, HBO Max, because we're going back to that. We're going backwards.
Can they decide what they want?
Can they fucking decide? I don't know. Jay Zaslav just got a $25 million bonus. What an idiot. All right, anyways. But yeah, I'll vote for The Backyard because, again, it is fascinating. If you like Beyond the Mat, it's kind of similar to that, just in a different style, but it's very, very good. I don't know how easy it is to find. I have it on DVD, but I'll go with that. Wolfman's voting for his For All Mankind in the comments, so there we go. So Kyle will kind of break the tie here. What you got?
Yeah, For All Mankind is awesome. And then and the Backyard Wrestling documentary is awesome. I know a lot about all that, and there was actually a couple video games based on that too as well.
Mm-hmm. So,
but yeah, I'm gonna vote the Backyard Wrestling one.
Oh, all right. Okay. So we got an upset here. We got the Backyard going through. Okay, interesting. We got some upsets going here already in the first round, so I like it. All right. We're going. Speaking of wrestling, there's Beyond the Mat, which I was just talking about. Yeah, and we got Pennywise, which I'll let Kyle talk about in just a second. But yeah, Beyond the Mat is kind of probably the most famous wrestling documentary. It kind of follows a couple of different storylines. Terry Funk in his original retirement match in '97 is a piece of it. Follows kind of Rock and Mankind around 1999 when they had their Royal Rumble match. You got some other history stuff with New Jack trying to build a movie, but yeah, it's a couple of different just behind the scenes of wrestling that they filmed over the course of a couple of years. And then Kyle, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but tell us about the Pennywise.
The It documentary is basically about the documentary from the miniseries from the 90s. Was it 1991? The
1990, yeah, with Tim Curry.
1990. Yeah, with Tim Curry. That it's an amazing documentary, and unfortunately, Tim Curry had his stroke, but he got to be a part of this, which was very cool. And then it explains the whole movie very, very well. One of the best documentaries based on, especially a horror film miniseries.
Right, sounds good. But Brian is voting first this time. What you got?
Yeah, the Pennywise one sounds interesting, but I have seen it Beyond the Mat. It's great. The first theatrical movie of The Rock ever. It's like they sat across recently. I'll go Beyond the Mat.
Yeah, no, and I'm also going to go Beyond the Mat again. I think it's one of the more famous kind of documentaries. Definitely the most famous wrestling documentary. Some of the stuff is pretty heartbreaking when you see like the Mick Foley's family reaction in the front row when he's getting pummeled by the Rock at the Royal Rumble. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, watching his kids cry and there's just some fascinating kind of wrestling behind the scenes stuff. If you want to see a little bit of that, I've always really really enjoyed it. So I'll go Beyond the Mat. Kyle.
Yeah, both of these are amazing. Jeez, now this is a tough one because I do love Beyond the Mat as well. But yeah, even there's the Pennywise miniseries also has some stuff that people didn't even know about the movie as well. So that's very cool. Beyond the Mat is amazing wrestling documentary. The stuff that it talks about is amazing. So I'm going to go Beyond the Mat this time. So.
Okay, yeah, Maria.
I'm going to do the same. I wasn't in love with the 1990s, whatever it was. I don't like horror, as most of you know. I'm not something I'm playing. I mean, I'll watch it if I'm forced to, but I'd rather not. And Beyond the Mat, I have seen that. It's been a while, but I thought it was pretty funny. There was funny spots in it. I mean, I don't know. It's supposed to be funny, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Because I'm not booked, Terry. No, it's very funny. And the Wolf will make it a clean sweep in the comments. So there you go. We might have a wrestling matchup next round because I think Beyond the Mat versus the Backyard. So
different type of wrestling going on there.
Two different, professional wrestling and not so professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so there we go. A good night for wrestling. All right, we got Grizzly Man, which is the other one I was referring to from Maria. She can tell us about it, but I'm very familiar with it as well. Directed by Werner Herzog, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So, and the Wolf Pack. It's not a Wolfman pick. I believe that's a Kyle pick, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is it one of yours, I believe?
I think so.
I'm very familiar with yours from Maria, so I'll just throw it's about this guy who thinks he's like in tune with the bears and he starts living with grizzly bears and he's documenting it with his own tripod and all this stuff, and then he gets eaten by bears at the end of the movie.
That's my new version.
I know you go ahead and expand on. I'm just saying that's the
just a second or two.
10-second pitch. Yeah.
Basically, he what he does is like what everybody does when they end up dead, like John Kennedy Jr. never flew at night and crazy, like boom. Okay, so this guy goes back, and when he's supposed to leave Alaska because the bears are going to come out of hibernation, he goes back and he gets eaten. Yeah. And he shouldn't have done that. If he hadn't gone back, he'd been fine. They were gone.
Yeah.
But he came back, and then everybody else had to find all of his parts. And Werner Herzog's having a heart attack and was talking about it, going, "I'm never going to show this footage. I'm never going to show anybody," because apparently how they filmed.
Apparently, the way he filmed it, his death is on camera somewhere.
Yeah, his death, and it's
there's
like
footage
the bear tearing him apart and everything. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, there's
Don't
footage
go
of
do
it
something out of your normal. Just stay with the normal thing.
So maybe Werner has that footage somewhere. He's just never going to put it out there.
I bet he does.
Obviously,
he said he wasn't ever.
I bet you he does. But anyways, Kyle. So talk about the Wolfpack real quick before we.
Well, the Wolfpack is about this family that homeschooled and raised their 7 children in a confinement of their apartment in the Lower East Side of New York, and it also won a grand jury prize. So
yeah, no, for sure. So I'm voting here. Yeah, no, I've seen both of these. Yeah, the Wolfpack, I remember getting a lot of buzz coming out of the film festivals that year. And yeah, there's a little bit of like movie connections because they dress like the Reservoir Dogs and stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and it's like because they watch movies, but that's all they did like in their apartment when they were confined. But they all had like movies they watched, and they didn't know a lot about the outside world because they were kind of sheltered kids. So yeah, it is a fascinating documentary. But yeah, I Grizzly Man's a fascinating one to tell people about because it's just like it's the ultimate fuck around and find out documentary. So because this guy like thinks he's just in tune with the bears and just took it one step too far, like Maria said. If he was fine at one point, and then he just went one step too far. And you don't mess with bears when they're hungry coming out of hibernation. That's a very bad idea when they're very hungry after 6 months of hibernation. And I like Werner Herzog as well. I'm just a big fan, so I'll go Grizzly Man.
Pretty horrified on that tape.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, the Grizzly Man's a good one too. That's a very interesting documentary about bears, and you don't want to mess with that. So, but the Wolfpack is an interesting story too. So, but both these are phenomenal, fantastic ones. I'm gonna go with the Wolfpack though.
Sounds good, Maria. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Grizzly Man, of course. Every time I think about the ignorance or arrogance of him, thinking he was in tune with them, going on Johnny Carson and all these other places, talking about these bears, and I'm like, you're lucky to be alive, dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
And then, but not lucky. It's terrifying at the end. I'm like, oh my god, you can tell that something's going to happen. I mean, he was slow and the bears were weird. Yeah. Sorry. Play me off. Goodbye. I'll vote for
Yeah.
Chief.
I love it.
I haven't heard that sound in a long time.
That's his end, all right. And his girlfriend. Let's not forget he got his girlfriend killed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it's a tragic situation, but at the same time, you can't help but kind of giggle at it because it's like, bro, you kind of brought that on yourself. Yeah. All right, I got you. But Brian, what do you vote for here?
Yeah, the Wolfpack have cheated by 2 because I'm there, but you know what? I'll go Grizzly Man because sounds interesting. I can't go for Herzog.
Yeah, for sure. And then Wolfman said he was voting for the Wolfpack, obviously, because he's the Wolfman. So that's fine. But Grizzly Man 3-2 on this one. So a little Werner Herzog.
I mean,
all right. We got Fahrenheit 9/11, which is a pretty famous Michael Moore documentary, and 3 Identical Strangers. But Kyle, why don't you quickly pitch Fahrenheit 9/11, then I'll pitch 3 Identical
Fahrenheit
Strangers.
basically is about 9/11, basically, and all that stuff about that and the fears that went after that. So.
With each other.
Yeah. So.
And 3 Identical Strangers. That's another one I got to see in the theaters, which was really cool. And it's a fascinating documentary about this guy who found out he had a twin brother, an identical twin. They found each other, and it was like a real life thing, just kind of by accident. And then through the press from that, found out they had a triplet, another twin brother. And there's 3 of them that are all exactly the same, but that they were separated at birth in this kind of orphanage situation, this foster situation. But there's a story behind that I won't spoil. Kind of these twists and turns about the revelation of how that happened. So the first half is kind of happy, like, oh man, it was this crazy story that was in the news, and they were doing media appearances, and they all became like best friends, obviously, these brothers, and then it gets a little darker later about why they were separated and whatnot, and part of this experiment. I won't go into too much of it, but yeah, it's got a it's got a storyline right out of a movie. I'll just leave it at that. So, yeah, I'll leave it there. But Kyle, you're up first on this one.
Yeah, both are amazing. I do think Three Deadly Strangers is awesome, and the other one, 9/11, is amazing. It goes all about the prisoner of George W. Bush and the Iraq War and the Marine media coverage of war. But for me, I'm gonna actually vote for the Three Identical Strangers.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, Maria.
I have seen Fahrenheit 9/11, and it's good. He gets a little bit weary after a bit, but
Yeah.
I want to vote for this other one because I'm so intrigued with my twins. I got 2 sets of twins. What happened, and I want to know what happened to them and how they got away.
Yeah, no, it's I won't spoil it too much, especially if you're gonna watch it. It's on Hulu. It's available on Hulu if you want to check it out. Oh yeah, Tubi for overseas, but yeah, I believe it's mainly on Hulu. Brian?
Yeah, it can be a documentary episode with some Michael Moore documentaries here. But yeah, Identical Strangers was my first watch for this. I really dug it. Should have been nominated for an Oscar that year. Surprised it wasn't. And finally, not forget, a TV show as well in the works. So I really did dig the Identical Strangers, so I'll go with that.
Yeah, I believe Ben Stiller is going to try to play these guys in like a TV show. He's producing and directing because he kind of looks like the guys look like Ben Stiller if you look like it. So, yeah, I'm going with obviously mine. Yeah, it's a fascinating movie. Yeah, it's very entertaining, but a little tragic as well. Yeah, I like most of Michael Moore's documentaries. Just him as a person gets on my nerves after a while. It's not so much like the subject matter. He can just get a little grating after watching for 2 hours. But I mean, Fahrenheit Noah is still a good documentary. But I'm gonna go with that, and then Wolfman's also voting for Three Identical Strangers. I know he's a big fan as well. So, all right, Three Identical Strangers. We'll move on. So there we go. All right, that's the first half. So hopefully Wolfman gets here. I think most of his are on the other side. So hopefully he gets here soon. Yeah. I think we got some other ones on the other side. Yeah, but we got some good stuff so far. I like a lot of these matchups, and
a lot of these documentaries are amazing. I love everybody.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's no shot if anyone loses. A lot of these are really great. So
I didn't know half of these are out there.
Anybody watching, write them down, take some screenshots. Yeah, these are all great. So
what I love about this, you even get some recommendations from some of these.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell people. I said if you're looking to get into documentaries, just watch this episode even for the recommendations. It's great.
A lot of our next round as well. Like no got eliminated first round.
All right.
It's weird.
So we got Evocateur, the Morton Downey Jr. movie, and we've got I Am Not Your Negro, which is, I believe, another. This is a Maria one. Yeah. So Maria, why don't you pitch yours first, and then I'll pitch mine.
Okay. Well, basically, this is about the author James Baldwin, who was a black man and gay, and was treated horribly by society and everybody else. And his thing was to fight back with words, and he was brilliant, talking as well. He wrote Go Tell It on the Mountain. I don't know if you had to read that in high school, but I did. But anyway, he really took on people and really just let them know, I'm not your Negro to push around. This is not, I'm not a slave. You don't get to talk to me this way. And it's really good. I don't know how much you are interested in the civil rights issues and stuff. There's a lot of that in there. And I was alive during that, but we were in the North, and I didn't think anything was wrong because, who knew? And now I know it was really not great anywhere. But it's a really good, fascinating documentary, and he's a great writer. So I just thought I might, maybe educate some people who hadn't tried it or don't know him. He's really good at what he did and treated horribly, like they always treat people that are different. So.
Right. And Evocateur is another one I got to see in a theater, which is really cool, at an art house theater. And it's about this guy, Morton Downey Jr., if you're not familiar with him. He's kind of like Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer in the 80s. He had a talk show host for only 2 or 3 years. It was very short-lived. But his idea was to just create the craziest talk show he could. He had people like almost getting into fist fights on his show, and he's like political. He was like a super political guy. So he'd have political people on the opposite spectrums, yelling and screaming at each other, and then eventually got into more exploitation kind of topics and whatnot. It was kind of a short-lived talk show. He was the son of he's the Downey family. They wanted him to be a singer, but he ended up being crazy out of his mind. Talk show host. So, and kind of the rise and fall of him as a guy. So it's really fascinating. Again, kind of a pop culture documentary there. Maria, you'll vote for us on this one. So.
I'll vote for mine. I'm Not Your Negro.
Yeah, sure. No, totally. Brian?
I will vote for Evocateur. It's actually my favorite watch this month, actually. I really dug it. I love the flashbacks with that people talking about the show, see the flashbacks of it. see how crazy he was, and yeah, the birth of trash TV. Evocateur gets
Yeah, he's kind of the grandfather of trash TV.
He
Yeah,
did kind
the
of
90s.
goad him to do,
That's what I mean, because in the 90s, there was the emergence of trash TV with Jerry Springer and Sally Jesse Raphael and Jenny Jones, that whole, purge of trash TV in the 90s. So, yeah, he was kind of ahead of the curve on that, yeah, and kind of was the one who really started that. Yeah, and kind of a weird dude, but it's a fascinating documentary. Yeah, I'll go with Evocateur just because, again, I kind of champion this one. It's really, really entertaining. Good, but I Am Not Your Name sounds great. Yeah, those civil rights documentaries are very interesting, yeah, historical stuff. So I'll get around to it at some point. Kyle?
Yeah, both awesome choices, Maria and Austin. These are both two most powerful documentaries. But I'm going to vote for I Am Not.
All right, and looks like Wolfman will break the tie, and I Am Not Your Negro will go through. Yeah,
against anything that it's not, but it still feels wrong. Say it out loud.
Oh, Negro, yeah, it's I don't really consider that any bad.
I don't. I don't, but it just means
there is a United Negro college fund.
That's true.
I don't think it's like
that's
a bad
true.
word.
I don't know.
I know it's a little skeevy, but again,
nowadays we're supposed to be pay more attention.
We're not saying it in any kind of slanderous way.
No, I would never do that.
Oh yeah, you're just saying that's the title of the documentary. It is what it is. So oh no, I understand. We got The King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters, and The Last Waltz, which I believe is a Wolfman one. Yeah, that's the Martin Scorsese sort of concert documentary. Yeah, that he did back in the 70s. So yeah, that's I forget the actual band that it's about. I have to look that up. I'll let you know in a second. But The King of Kong is one of mine, and yeah, that's another one I was lucky enough to see in the theaters back in the 2000s.
Fistful of Quarters.
yeah, Fistful of Quarters. So it's about these two guys, Steve Weavy and what's the guy's name? Oh God, he's infamous. The guy who looks like Jesus. It's God, what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. He's like a fascinating dude. I don't know, his rival, these two rivals, they play old Donkey Kong, like the old school Donkey Kong, like arcade game. And it's about these guys trying to like set records back and forth on Donkey Kong. And it's about like the classic gaming culture of like these old school retro arcade games and like this website that tries to keep track of all the top scores and all these little minions that the dude has around him. And yeah, it's just really, really interesting and a nice throwback. And it ends up becoming kind of this thing where you're rooting for it's Billy Mitchell. He has the other guy who becomes like this great villain of this thing, doing nefarious things and having little minions working for him and making sure he always has the record and this underdog going after him. And it's really, really entertaining. I think that's one's on YouTube and stuff. It's pretty easy to find. Well, first, I got a chance to see The Last Waltz in theaters. I didn't get to. I had an opportunity to. My art house theater was showing it. I haven't gone back and watched it, but I want to at some point. But yeah, The King of Kong is great. I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times. Like I think it's just really entertaining and really fascinating. And if you want to know more about this, kind of gaming culture before gaming culture, you know what I mean? It's this retro gaming culture. It's really, really, really cool. And Billy Mitchell's a really despicable dude who's still got in lawsuits to this day and stuff. You'll see articles about him randomly, and he's always getting sued by somebody. So I'll go with that. But Kyle.
Yeah, The Last Waltz is a really good one as well, but your pick is an awesome one as well. Learning about that retro gaming off, it goes deep. And I love that one, so I'm going with that one.
Sounds good. Yeah, Maria.
I was in the beginning of arcade type things. I mean, not that I was in them, but it was happening right then. And I remember going and watching some kids play, and they got fist fight over somebody dropping the thing, and it made something else happen, and they were freaking out. And I'm like, this is just a game, guys. No, it was death. So I'm gonna move for that one. I haven't seen it, but I want to see it now for sure.
There's an older lady, like an elderly lady, who goes to this place and she's trying to set the Q*bert world record. And she kind of pops up throughout the whole thing, but like she's the one that holds the record for it.
It's cool.
It's adorable. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, for me, for Scorsese, I always saw the Shadow Light concert documentary, not the Last Waltz one that he's done. But I'll go the King of Kong with this one.
All right, sounds good. And yeah, Wolf obviously, pushing his out. I know it's a pretty famous one, so go check that out if you haven't. But all right, we'll the King of Kong, the little underdog one again. All right, scooting on down to got the George Harrison documentary. I cut off the subtitle. I apologize, Maria, but you can let us know.
I forgot what the subtitle is.
And we've got Paris is Burning, which is another Wolfman one. I'll give you the synopsis in a second, but go ahead, Maria. Tell us about the George Harrison one.
It's just I've been so long since I've seen it, I kind of forgot what it's about. But it's about his life and things that he didn't accomplish, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good bio type thing. It's not any controversies, not any dark skeletons. I mean, although I think they all had some dark skeletons passing around people and whatnot in the early times, but that's none of my beeswax. And I just thought it was sweet. I just like him. Miss him.
No, for sure. And The Paris is Burning is about the New York City 80s drag queen scene and the LGBT scene of New York in the 1980s. Yeah, it's in the 80s.
Booking that.
Yeah. So it's kind of about that and kind of the clubs and things that were around and and putting themselves out there and trying to get a little respect amongst people. So there you go. All right, Kyle, you're up first on this one.
I haven't seen the Burning one, but I've seen the George Harrison one, and I think it's a really good documentary about him. So I'm going with George Harrison one.
George Harrison, yeah, sounds good. Maria,
I'll go with George. I like him. I'm with George.
I'm with George. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, Paris is Burning when the premise of it also mentioned. I thought it would be about the burning in Paris, France, not about the drag queen scene.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I'll go with the George Harrison one as well.
Yeah, no, and I'll probably vote the George Harrison one just because I like 70s New York more than 80s New York. I'm always fascinated with like 70s New York, and when I see fictional, stuff like Taxi Driver or Death Wish, set in 70s New York, I just think it's a fascinating era. But I mean, this one does sound interesting. It has great reviews on IMDb and stuff, so maybe I'll check it out as well. But yeah, the Beatles is one of those things where I kind of respect the Beatles more than I like the Beatles, but I've always tried to have more of an appreciation over the years as I go back and watch documentaries and things about them. So yeah, I'll have to look into the George Harrison.
I should have nominated that one. God damn it.
Oh, that's all right. I guess could you have put Hard Day's Night in here? I mean, it's kind of like a sort of a documentary.
No, they have it in the Peter Jackson documentary. As I was
oh yeah, no,
that told me so much about how they write songs. They just sat there together and. I mean, it was like magic how they come up with the song and stuff. I'm like, I can't even think of my grocery list.
Well, speaking of, there you go, Maria. There's Michael Jackson's "This Is It," and then Disney's Howard. I've seen both. I'll let Brian pitch the Howard one in a second. But yeah, Maria, we were just talking about the Michael Jackson thing, so go ahead and pitch that one.
Well, I think it's obviously his last days. Well, I mean, we didn't know that, but. His way he not operated, but how he danced, how he conducted how he wanted things to go, and so forth. It's really fascinating looking at how a concert is created and how he seems goofy and kind of silly and young, but then he turns into the person that he is, a superstar musician. Mm-hmm. It's quite interesting to watch his transitions and stuff. And I thought he was a great, obviously a great singer. No doubt about that. I'm sorry about his troubled life, but I'm glad that they made this at least so we have something at the end of his life.
Yeah, for sure. Brian, about Howard?
Yeah, Howard is about Howard Ashman and his collaboration with Alan Menken when they were working on the 90s Disney movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get behind the scenes work on B2Bs, how it works in the songs of it, and find out. And also it's still on Disney Plus, so they didn't take it down.
Yeah,
it's great. Yeah, it's a great documentary. So I'll go with Howard.
Well, I mean, Maria's voting first, so yeah, no, I know you're going to vote for Howard, but yeah, but Maria's actually voting. I assume Maria's going to vote for her.
I'm going to vote for mine. It's okay.
No, understood. And again, Brian obviously is going to vote for Howard. Yeah. So, no, I actually have seen Howard because oddly enough, Brian, I watched it and pitched it for a battleground match for a Disney Disney Plus original thing or something. Like, what's the best Disney Plus original content or movie against Jay Burns? So I ended up winning the Howard one, and so I have seen it for that, and I was fascinated by it anyways because I love Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, it's my era of Disney, and finding out a little more about the guy who wrote all those lyrics and everything. Yeah, it was really, really good. So I'll go with Howard. Kyle.
Oh, both amazing documentaries, especially the one about Michael Jackson is just phenomenal. But Howard, that's another phenomenal one, especially about that Disney in that
Very
era.
Sweet, I'm sure.
So I'm going to go with Howard, actually.
All right. So, and Wolfman's also voting for Howard. So, all right, there we go. Brian, going to put through Howard, a little Disney love there. All right. So, another Disney Plus original one going through. All right, we got Jim and Andy, the documentary about and then All the Beauty and Bloodshed. Jim and Andy is the I'm familiar with this one. It's the Andy Kaufman, kind of the behind the scenes of when Jim Carrey played Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon, and sort of how he kind of lost his mind for a little while, just getting so method acting into the character that he was driving everybody crazy, and assaulting people and driving Jerry Lawler crazy, and and you have a little bit of like Jim Carrey, in a chair, kind of talking about it in a retrospective way and saying, I might have gone too far, what I did, that sort of thing. So it's all about that. And then All the Beauty and Bloodshed, I'll have to look up. It's another Wolfman pick, so let me make sure I got that down. So you guys bear with me for just a second. Let's see. And Bloodshed. Here we go. Pull it up. It's a recent one from 2022. And it's about the artist Nan Golden and the downfall of the Sackler family. It's a pharmaceutical dynasty. As my IMDb is struggling to load. Sorry.
I gotta read that again. Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Yeah. All the Beauty and Bloodshed. Sorry, my IMDb's not working too well.
Hopefully they explain that.
Let me pull it up. Okay. The pharmaceutical dynasty was greatly responsible for the opioid epidemic. So it's actually the people kind of behind the family that unintentionally maybe was behind the opioid epidemic. So there you go. But Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll go with mine, which is Jim and Andy. I do get his method acting, but it's great behind the scenes work of the movie Man on the Moon. I haven't seen All the Beauty and Bloodshed. Doesn't feel up my alley almost, but I'll go with Jim and Andy.
Yeah, no, I wasn't as familiar with All the Beauty and Bloodshed. It sounds interesting. But I have seen the Jim and Andy thing because, I'm a big Andy Kaufman fan just in general. So, the Man on the Moon thing, I wrote college papers about Andy Kaufman. So, seeing a little bit more about the behind the scenes. I'd heard with like Jerry Lawler and some of the other people that worked on the movie about how much Jim Carrey was an asshole doing the method acting thing, and how Jerry Lawler tried to convey that, like, hey, Jim, Andy was not an asshole to me, like we were friends, like you don't have to be a dick to me, like we were friends in real life, like you're getting this all wrong. And it does kind of make you like think twice about that movie and method acting in general, how people can take it too far. It's I'm gonna go with that because I've seen it, but I do appreciate like Wolfman saying in the comments about the opioid epidemic is very it's very, very sad, and I guess a kind of history of that. But so obviously he's voting for his, but Kyle, good.
Yeah, I've seen Wolfman's pick, and yes, it's a very powerful doc. I did know about the Jim and Andy stuff, and really learned about it more when Jerry talked about it on Stone Cold's podcast.
That's what I was referring to. Yeah, he talked a lot about behind the scenes about Jim as being a dick when he's like, "No, we were friends, bro. Stop being a dick." They were just more
entertaining when they did their little rivalry. So Jim did take a little too far, but it's a really good one for sure. I'm going with that one as well, Jim and Andy.
Sure, Maria.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Jim Carrey. The reason is same with Robin Williams. All the over the top, all the constant. And I know that's why a lot of people love them. And nothing against them. They're great people, and they did the great job for a lot of people. I like Liar Liar. Okay, but this helped me understand him a little bit better. How he could get involved in so deeply into this thing where he turned into somebody actually kind of different than himself. And I felt better watching it about him in general. You know what I mean? So I'm going to vote for that because I've not given him a pass for quite a few years because it's just like, oh my God, and Robin Williams was like, make me crazy. It's like, stop. But that's me. And I know it's not everybody at all. So that's just me. But anyway, I'm going to vote for that.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Jimmy and Andy rolling through. And we'll go on down to the Queen of Versailles, which is one of my picks, and Bowling for Columbine. So again, I think it's a pretty well-known one, but Kyle, you can kind of quickly pitch Bowling for Columbine about pretty much a Michael Moore documentary about guns, guns in America, essentially.
For sure. About the Guns America, especially, basically it's basically about, what happened at Columbine in 1999. We all know about that one mostly. It's about all that kind of stuff. So that was going on about guns and everything. So it's a really powerful one. It's one of his better ones for sure. One of his top-notch ones for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, The Queen of Versailles is one of my picks. It's another one I rented from Netflix DVD back in the day because I remember hearing a lot of things. But yeah, it follows the guy who's a billionaire and has like a complete trophy wife, airhead of a trophy wife who's out of touch with reality. And yeah, they're trying to build like the most expensive mansion, at least in Florida or something like that, in the middle. And then they happen to be documenting this when the housing crisis hit back in like 08, 09, like when the housing market collapsed and the financial crisis. So they're like losing money, and they're losing money quick, and they can't finish this project. But it's just fascinating, this billionaire family who's completely out of touch with reality and doesn't know anything about real life and real people, and just you kind of get infuriated with them, but they're very entertaining at the same time. So that's sort of my pitch for it. Yeah. Again, as I stated, I'm voting first. Michael Moore, again, I appreciate the content of what he is and the things he's trying to expose. I just don't really. I wish he would like get somebody else to host his documentaries, if that makes sense. Like I like the content, but some of the stunts he pulls are kind of weird and a little over the top, and it just is what it is. So I'm just pushing for, again, it's kind of an underdog documentary with the Queen of Versailles, and I think they did a follow-up, which I haven't seen a few years later, kind of catching up with them.
King of Versailles?
No, I think it was just the Queen of Versailles Reborn or something. I don't know. They did some kind of follow-up thing, but I just mean it's also fascinating if you're interested in the housing crisis, like The Big Short did, around that time. It's just if you want to see like what a billion. Not that you have any sympathy for this billionaire, you know what I mean, but just like, interesting, like seeing them panic over losing their money and all this kind of stuff. So I'll go for it. But Kyle.
I still have to check out yours, Austin, for sure. That sounds very interesting for sure. So, but for the Bowling for Combine, he tries to explain what was the reason about why Combine happened, but I do know the actual reason. This is a personal one. It's not, there's some of the stuff that he says in this is not like true about what happened was the reason of Combine, but you guys go about the guns, and this is still going about guns still going on, that important subjects going on today still. So it's a really powerful one. It's one of his top-notch, better documentaries, but I do get about what you sometimes about him, sometimes also about the stuff he does. But I'm gonna go with
Bowling. He like goes to harass like Charlton Heston, and dude's like almost 100 years old, and it's like, bro, what are you trying to accomplish with this? Dude's like, he's just old. like go after the people who are like in the NRA now. Like you don't need to go after Charlton Heston, who did like one speech with him or whatever. Like go like talk to the current NRA president. You know what I mean? Like talk to them. Like and I think it would be more interesting. But
it's a powerful one for sure. So I'm going for Bowling for Combine.
No, totally. Maria,
I like him well enough when he starts out with something, but then he just takes it, weirdly into places where I'm uncomfortable. Some of the interviews he does, I don't. And that one of Charlton Heston, I'm no fan of anybody that's that big of a gun lover, but I mean, no offense, just a woman thing, whatever. I think it's just a me thing, probably, but I don't.
Well, I mean, like I own a few, but I'm not a gun nut. You know what I mean? I have one for self-defense, and I have a, things like that.
Mow down your dinner.
I don't go out, and then flash them and carry them everywhere I go and all that. You know what I mean? Like
arrows on and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
And when you pick it on Charlton Heston, I thought that was pretty low. I mean, obviously the man is suffering from dementia, so having gone through that with my husband, I recognize it incredibly. Same thing, and it's like, why would you do that to a man like that? I mean, excuse me, if he felt the way he felt, who cares? I mean, he's too old to make any difference anyway. Go on, get somebody that's more relevant, like the head of the NRA
go talk to Ted Nugent, who flashes his guns all over the place and is a legit
all the time. How does
he really?
Yeah,
on screen and everywhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't like that one as much. I'm gonna try. Haven't seen yours, but I'm gonna vote for yours.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sounds good. No, totally, Brian.
Yeah, I also watched Queen of Versailles for this, and I really enjoyed it, especially the whole Christmas scene where she goes shopping at Walmart.
And she's just buying like 4 of everything because she doesn't know what to grab, so she just goes through Toys R Us and just grab 4 of the same toys for like the kids. It's really she's completely out of touch. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah,
it's a great ridiculous dysfunctional family. So I love it. So Queen of Versailles.
Okay, and we'll put it for Bowling for Combine. Obviously an important one, but yeah, I like that we're putting through some underdogs tonight. I like it.
Yeah.
Obviously there's ones that everybody's heard of, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check your one out for sure.
Yeah, I think that's another one that's kind of tricky to
Tubi.
find. Yeah, I think it's on Tubi
okay.
overseas. I don't know if it's on Tubi here. It's weird, like it's one of those goofy ones, but I think it's out there. If you dig around, you can find it. Got The Act of Killing, another Wolfman one, which I've seen, and unfortunately, two wolves got to each other. But yeah, The Act of Killing is the Indonesian documentary where they get these guys who committed these horrible genocides back in the 60s for when the military took over the government. Like there was a military coup and they went around just like killing people, anybody, and called anyone a communist that opposed the military coup essentially. And there were these horrible killing squads that just murder people, and they get people to reenact some of the situations that they did, and the carelessness at which they just reenact this stuff and don't even care. It's really chilling. Some of these people that have no remorse whatsoever. And yeah, Minding the Gap is, I believe, about these kids who like kind of skateboard and this little mini societal group they put together, and some of their things they go through as friends. So Minding the Gap, unfortunately, I didn't get to, but I have seen The Act of Killing. But Kyle, you're up first on this one.
I haven't seen The Act of Killing either, but I think The Minding the Gap is a really good one as well. So I'm gonna go with The Minding the Gap.
Minding the Gap, yeah, sounds good. Maria?
Yeah, I think I'll go with that one too. I haven't seen either one of them, but talking about them helps me kind of get a feel for what we're doing and where we're going. And I'm going to vote for that Minding the Gap.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah, I agree with Maria. I haven't seen either one, but Minding the Gap sounds more interesting, so Minding the Gap.
Yeah, Minding the Gap was one of the ones I would have got to more. I told Wolf I'll try to get to. I apologize, I didn't get to all of it. I just ran out of time this week. The Act of Killing is very good, but it's a very hard watch. To watch how casually these guys talk about the atrocities they did, just cutting people's heads off and just shooting people with no remorse, and like just the cold in their voices. Just it's really disturbing, really hard to watch. So it's a very important documentary. It's very good, but it's just hard to watch. Minding the Gap, yeah, sounds pretty fascinating. So I'll go with that. And then maybe when Wolf gets here, we can talk about it when he gets here. He voted for that in the comments as well, so he would have put through Minding the Gap. All right, going down to Man on Wire, another pretty famous one about the guy who tightrope walked the World Trade Center back in the 70s. Yeah, and the Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie is based on that. And Crystal Lake Memories about Friday the 13th. So I'll pitch that. Yeah, it's on my list. I'll pitch it really quick. So it's essentially like and Kyle's probably seen it, I'm sure. Yeah, it's a very in-depth documentary about, and I have a similar one on here that we'll get to very soon. But it's about the whole Friday the 13th franchise. They go movie by movie, like literally chronologically, and even pre the first movie about getting as many of the actors from the thing as they can. Just if you ever wanted to go super in depth on every one of the Friday the 13th movies and the behind the scenes of everything,
chance, huh?
Yeah, if you're a big horror fan, it's a pretty essential horror doc along with the other one that we'll talk about soon. And obviously, again, Man on Wire is about the French guy who tightrope walked the World Trade Center in the heist fashion back in the 70s. So, all right, Maria, you're up first on this one.
I'll vote for Man on the Wire because I don't know. Actually, I'm not going to. I know that one. Okay. And it's had a movie and everything, but this Friday the 13th thing I've never heard of before. So I think I'll vote for that. I'm always
it's a long one. Yeah, they are long because they go in depth, but it's fun for what
That's his right name, Michael Myers. There's a Jason somehow.
That's Jason. Yeah. Jason is that one. Yeah.
Jason Voorhees. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I got it on Blu-ray.
I've seen snippets, but I just.
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, I also have seen Man on Wire. It's great. I did enjoy The Walk, but I enjoyed Man on Wire more. But you know what? I'll go to Friday the 13th. No, Crystal Lake Memories, because Man on Wire very well tournament, so Crystal Lake Memories I'll go with.
I was going to say the same thing. Man on Wire is actually one of our tournaments over on regular tournament fights. Yeah, I think it won the 2008 tournament. Yeah, so it went pretty far there. Yeah, it's really well known and it's very good. And the movie that's based on is pretty cool too. Yeah, I love these in-depth horror documentaries that like go super deep for the horror fans. Of like literally, you get some that just kind of quickly touch on each one, but this one literally goes movie by movie by movie and gets as many people as they can to come in and interview and talk about it. Tom Savini, Sean Cunningham, the guy who kind of started the series, all this stuff, and just go super in depth on it. Again, I got another one that's very similar to that I think is even better. This one's very, very good. But if I had to pick one or the other, I would pick the next one that we'll talk about very soon, that we'll get to. But Kyle, I'm sure Kyle knows what the one I'm talking about. I'm sure, but
yeah.
Kyle, yeah.
But yeah, Man on Wire is a good one as well. About that document, that's pretty awesome. But I love Crystal Lake Memories, and I love that franchise to begin with. But I love it goes in depth about each movie, so I'm gonna go with Crystal Lake Memories.
All right, yeah, sounds good. Okay, yeah, we got some underdogs going through. I like it.
Upside, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of an upset. All right, we got March of the Penguins. Again, another pretty famous one that came out in theaters. And we got Murder Ball. So yeah, March of the Penguins, obviously pretty well known. The one narrated by Morgan Freeman about the penguin migrations and all that kind of stuff. And the penguin documentary, everybody knows that one. And Murder Ball, yeah, it's about this league of guys in wheelchairs who play the wheelchair basketball, and it's a pretty famous documentary as well. So two pretty well known ones here, Brian.
Yeah, Martian Penguins I saw has been long. I think it was 2006. I saw it. It's decent. Murderball I haven't seen, but it sounds interesting. So I'll go for the underdog, Murderball.
Ball, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, no, and again, March of the Penguins is good. I do like nature documentaries, but I kind of like the Planet Earth type stuff more. The stuff with like David Attenborough is the more stuff I really get into. They like that. It is very good, but yeah, Murder Ball is really fascinating, and yeah, you really get to know these guys who are in this basketball league, and it's a it was almost before that I kind of knew the sport existed, but I hadn't seen much footage of it. And yeah, if you ever want to see it, it's very fascinating. These guys playing basketball in wheelchairs, it's crazy. Yeah, it gets intense. Yeah, when they're playing, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, I'll go with Murder Ball here. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely know about the March of the Penguins, but Murder Ball is very, very interesting. So I'm going to go with Murder Ball.
Yeah, sounds good, Maria.
Our job is done. Yeah, Murder Ball. I have to go with. I mean, the penguins are neat and all that. I'm kind of penguined out. There's a lot of penguin movies. Have you noticed? Mm-hmm. They've been around for a while. They're going in planes with blue people and
yeah,
all that stuff. I know they're cute enough. I like them, but this is Murder Ball. It was fascinating. I mean, I've never knew such brutality from people in wheelchairs to each other. I mean, I guess it was, it's all in the game, but I mean, it is like you're trying to kill each other. It's interesting. I'm going to vote for it.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so looks like Murder Ball will move on this one. All right, sounds good. All right, we've got Streetwise, which I know is a Wolfman favorite as well. And we've got Hot Potato, the story of the Wiggles. So that is Brian. So why don't you pitch yours first, Brian, and I'll look up Streetwise for everybody.
Yeah, Hot Potato is about the story of the Wiggles, how they got together, how they created the band, and also how they wrote different songs for their music. And you see glimpses pieces of the TV show, how it got made. And also you see the sort of so now like you see them adding new members of the Wiggles and see how they added like Dorothy Dinosaur and Heavy Octopus and I grew up watching with the Wiggles, so I'll go with the Wiggles.
Yeah, and Streetwise is one of Wolf's, and I am very familiar with this. He brought it up, some other tournament, and yeah, it's about these, made back in the '80s, about these, unfortunately, these teenagers who live on the streets of Seattle and everything. They kind of do survive, these homeless teens, and they're always surviving how they get food, and unfortunately, some of them have to like kind of prostitute themselves sometimes. Some of them hook on drugs. It's a very dark, documentary about this group of teenagers here, but yeah, it's a very important documentary though. So I haven't seen the Wiggles one. I'm barely familiar with the Wiggles as it is, Brian. So I've seen them, here and there. But I know you like stuff like that. I have seen Streetwise though, and it is very good. Again, it's not very rewatchable, I would say, because it's very kind of dark with the subject matter. But I'll go with Streetwise. Kyle?
Yeah, I heard about the Wiggles. Good choice, Brian. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Streetwise. It's a really powerful one as well. So
yeah, for sure. Maria?
Well, I haven't gone with the Wiggles or anything like that tonight, so for Brian, I'm going to go for the Wiggles.
Okay. Wolfman, I know, is voting for Streetwise, so we'll put their Streetwise tonight. So, all right, we'll go Streetwise on this one. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm sure it's good. We've got Summer of Soul, which I believe is one of Maria's, I believe. Is that one of yours? That's one of yours? Yeah, and then we've got Showa, which I'll talk about in a second. So I'll let Maria pitch Summer of Soul real quick.
Well, basically, they did a documentary about that summer when all the bands or all the people that were in the Motown and everywhere else all had concerts and outdoor things at the same time. And, it's been largely overlooked, of course, because, I have nothing to do with how America is, believe it or not, but I'm not happy with it either. But and it's really neat. I mean, the way they put it together and all the music, it's just and footage I've never seen of any of these, concerts that were going on, and it's really kind of worth it if you like, music from the '60s and stuff like that. It's worth seeing.
All right, yeah, gotcha. And then Showa, if you don't know what it is, I think it was on Gene Siskel's best list of that year. It's the 9-hour Holocaust documentary.
Yeah, it's
it's pretty famous. Yeah. So I haven't seen it, but I am very familiar with it. Yeah, they interview all these Holocaust survivors. It's back in '85, so when a lot of them were still around. They interview a whole bunch of them. They even interview some of the ex-Nazis that were there, but they have to do it in secret, just like distorted audio. So they'd have to like hide their identity for it, but they actually were able to get a hold of a few of them as well. So yeah, it's probably the most comprehensive sort of, interview related Holocaust documentary that's ever been made. So yeah, 9 hours long, but if you watch it kind of like a TV show, break it up into pieces.
Lord of the Rings.
Watch it in like hour chunks. You know what I mean? Like don't watch it all the way through. But yeah, that one's out there. You can find it. So, but yeah, Kyle's voting first on this one, I believe.
Was that my pick? Or whose pick was that?
Wolfman, I think.
Wolfman was the show.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what.
I couldn't remember. Okay, yeah, I figured. Yeah, the Holocaust one. It is a long one, Austin. Like you said, it's very long. But the Summer of Soul is a really, really good one as well. So I'm actually gonna vote with Summer of Soul.
Summer of Soul, yeah, Maria.
Maria? She's sleeping.
I'm here, not asleep. Not yet. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Passed out. Just for a second.
That's okay. It's okay.
Thank you for yelling. I'm trying not to do that. I'm getting so old. It's terrible.
No, you're good.
Summer of Soul is what I'm going to vote for. The music is just great, and I just think they did a good job. So
sounds good. Yeah, I got you, Brian.
I should tell you the first place.
Yeah, welcome to the longest movie on Turnfest now. Show on 9 hours. Yeah, I haven't seen it. If it'll take me like 2 Turnfests to watch show on, but I'll go with Summer of Soul.
Sounds good. Yeah, and I'll throw a bone to Wolfman here since they're going through. I have been wanting to see show at some point. Yeah, I'm sure once I get to it, I'll have to take it in chunks, and watch it, hour here, an hour there. But yeah, I know it is very well done and it's very comprehensive, so I'll get to it at some point. And Wolfman, I'm sure would have voted for show as well, but Summer Soul will roll through on this one. So there you go. I do like 60s music though, so I'm sure I would enjoy it when I get to it. We got Blackfish. And Remembering Gene Wilder, and yeah, I'm very familiar with Blackfish, Maria. So I got this, because I saw Blackfish in theaters. Yeah, it's about the kind of mistreatment of the orcas at SeaWorld, and SeaWorld culture and the history of how they got the whales and kind of the nefarious means they got them, and then how they kind of suffer when like baby whales are born there, and the actual attack of the woman that died at SeaWorld, the trainer that passed away in the attack there, and just kind of the whaling industry in general as well. It goes into a little bit of that. So yeah, it's pretty heartbreaking stuff. And then obviously the Remembering Gene Wilder is the Netflix movie. It's Gene Wilder. Yeah, it's kind of a bio of him, and they use, I know because I watched a good chunk of it. They used his audiobook as well to kind of have him almost narrate his own biopic sort of. But Maria, you're up first on this one.
I am going to vote for Blackfish. That's the first documentary that actually made me want to do some call to action to do anything.
Right.
Wrote to Congress people and Florida get rid of SeaWorld. I mean, they don't need to be doing this to this animal. And then it didn't matter what I thought, but it's the first time I felt like I could maybe help. Of course I couldn't, but I thought I want to do something. I don't usually feel that way. I usually feel like somebody's doing something. I feel good about that, but I wanted to help this. Of course I couldn't.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I just didn't know that was going on.
Yeah, Brian.
And I feel bad that Gene Wilder was up there. Oh my goodness!
I do enjoy both of Blackfish. I fished today. It's very powerful about the history of SeaWorld and the engagement of the whales. And Remembering Gene Wilder is great. About most of it is based on his autobiography, his voiceover of it. So almost like in life itself, almost aspect. But I'll go with Remembering Gene Wilder.
Yeah, no, and I've seen both of them. Again, the Gene Wilder one is very good, and I'm a big fan of his. And yeah, it's cool how they use the audiobook with that. But I'll go with Blackfish again. I remember almost crying in the theater when I saw it. The spot where they take the orcas like baby away at SeaWorld. She's just like prone in the corner of the tank for like 3 days straight. It's very heartbreaking. And very powerful stuff. So yeah, I'll go Blackfish here. Kyle?
Yeah, Remembering Gene Wilder is an awesome one because I love the actor. He was a lot of his movies. But the Blackfish is another, is emotional one as well for me. So I'm gonna go with Blackfish.
All right, sounds good. So Blackfish will roll through on this one. All right, and going down to For Sama, another Wolfman pick, and Tread, which is one of my picks. So yeah, I'll pull up For Sama here so I can at least pitch it for Wolfman, and then I'll tell you about Tread. Give me 1 second as I do this in real time again. Sorry about that. I will go as quickly as I can here if I can pull it up. Where is it? Okay, here it is. My IMDb app runs kind of slow sometimes. It says an intimate and epic journey into a young woman's experience of war during the revolution in Syria. So it's about a woman's experience with the Syrian stuff that was going on there in 2019. And then Tread is about this guy. I think his name was like Harold Niemeyer, something Niemeyer. This guy in, I believe it's Alaska, who was dealing with this local government, and they feel they screwed him over for like 2 or 3 years straight. And it uses all these audio tapes he recorded and everything, and then it interviews a lot of people who were involved. This guy who just snapped, and over the course of 2 years in secret, built an armored bulldozer, a completely armored bulldozer, and went on a rampage in this town. This is a true story, and they have all this real footage of him going on this rampage in this bulldozer, and it lasted hours and hours and hours, and nobody could stop him because this thing was like super armored, and he used cameras to drive it, and it's a mad, insane story that really happened. So that's that. But Brian, first on this one.
Yeah, I haven't seen both of these. For some of them flew up my alley, but I did enjoy the picture of Tread, so I go with Tread.
Yeah, no, and again, I haven't seen For Some. I'm sure Wolfman would tell me a little more about it. I know some of that. Yeah, he likes some of the true stuff. Yeah, of some of the things going on in the world. But yeah, Tread is a bonkers, bizarre story. And yeah, I remember listening to a podcast about it first when the first time I heard about it, and then they actually made the documentary. Yeah, it's wild, especially the actual footage they have from like a helicopter that's shooting it. Like one of those police chases, but it's with this armored bulldozer. It's nuts. And him like driving over buildings and stuff with this armored bulldozer, and them shooting at it, and they can't stop it, and it's insane. It's an insane story. So I'll go with Tread here. Kyle?
I haven't seen the Wolfman pick either, but I'm gonna go with Tread as well. So.
All right, Maria.
I think I'll go with I'll go with Tread. Yeah, the other one sounds intriguing though. I'm going to write it down. I might want to check it out.
Yeah, Tread's almost like a true crime thing. Only the true crime already happened like years ago. It's not really like it is a crime, but it's like more of a bonkers, insane, crime that you can't believe actually happened, but it actually happened.
I have a low bar for those things I can watch.
Oh yeah, this one's very good.
Monuments Men, I like that a lot, and everybody else tells me it's garbage. I like it. It's they don't. I'm all there.
All right. We got Electric Boogaloo, which I'll talk about in a second, and then the Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal documentary, another kind of wrestling documentary. It's our third one.
Yes.
But Brian, Bray Wyatt's your pick, and then I'll talk about Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, for me, I started becoming a wrestling fan last year, and I watched the documentary. It got me intrigued about his life and his career in the WWE, and about his family aspects. So it's great if you're a wrestling fan. I do enjoy. I recommend Bray Wyatt to become immortal for this one.
Yeah, Electric Boogaloo is actually about Cannon Films. If anybody's familiar with Cannon Films, it was a film company in the 80s. They're the company that did Masters of the Universe, the He-Man movie. They did Over the Top, the Stallone movie. They did Cyborg. They took over the rights to Superman and did Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. They did the Missing in Action movies and some of the Chuck Norris movies in the 80s. But it's this makeshift company. They got together. They did all these low budget movies, and they had some hits that allowed them to make other movies. And this madman who ran it, this guy from overseas, just making these wild decisions, and sort of the rise and fall of this crazy company in the 80s at Cannon Films that was around for a while, but unfortunately went bankrupt. So it's a fascinating history of these crazy exploitation movies they did in the 80s. So it's another kind of movie documentary. But yeah, so I'm up first. Yeah, I got to go with Electric Boogaloo. This is one that I was able to see in the theater, which was really cool, and then bought on DVD. I think it's out there. It's easy to find. But yeah, I love history of like movies, and this is a fascinating one. If you're not as familiar with Cannon Films, I know you've seen some of their movies. You probably have, whether you knew about it or not. But yeah, they were around in the 80s, and yeah, this crazy company, this guy who just pitched movies and he loved movies, but unfortunately made a lot of wacky decisions that led to the downfall of the company. It didn't last very long. So I'll go with Electric Boogaloo. Kyle?
I have to quickly go grab something, but I'll say my pick first.
Okay.
So I love the Bray Wyatt documentary. It's awesome. But the one about Cannon, the Cannon Films, that story is just how that person ran that. And I can understand why they that series a longer. It's a really good documentary, Austin. So I'll go with the Ken documentary.
Sure.
Maria.
Yeah.
I think I'll go with the same one you were going with. It sounds very intriguing, and I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, for sure.
I will go with mine, Bray Wyatt.
All right, sounds good. But it looks like Electric Boogaloo will roll through.
I like
so
Marcus comment in the chat about it's a promo for the Star Wars
Yeah, the Wyatt Six. Yeah, whenever they decide to pick up that group again, I don't know when they're going to do that. All right, going down to Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. And I know it's a Kyle pick, but I've seen it, so I can talk about it. And Val, yeah, the Val Kilmer documentary. Rest in peace, Val Kilmer, which seems more pressing than ever. But Maria, why don't you pitch Val real quick, and then I'll talk about Christopher Reeve in a second. Because I have seen it. I can talk for Kyle. I have seen it. So go ahead.
Val Kilmer, the man, the myth, the legend. It tells about his life, about how he, how he developed to who he is, how his acting career started, about his troubles, his terrible, throat cancer, and all the reoccurring, things that happened with that. And it's just touching. It's in places. It's stuff you don't know about him. Interesting as hell. I know he was a great actor. I mean, I don't think many people think he's a bad actor. I thought he was great in Tombstone. I mean, I know that's a crazy thing to say. Is it Tombstone? Have I got the right one?
Tombstone. Yeah.
Okay. Not the other one, which with Kevin Costner, I don't count that. Anyway,
I'm back.
What was the name of that? I forgot. But anyhow, I think it's really good. And in light of him dying, and tragically, of course, it's kind of, it's a good kind of way to send him off, to the, you understand him now, and now he can be released, So,
yeah. Yeah, and Superman. Yeah, I was gonna say, Kyle. I've seen it, so I'm very familiar with it. But yeah, it's the Christopher Reeve documentary, and again, how these are kind of similar. Both guys that had, some kind of health issue, and then unfortunately they're no longer with us. But obviously, yeah, it covers some of his movie career. Being typecast as Superman, and then obviously the horse accident that paralyzed him. From the neck down, and yeah, but a lot of behind the scenes like family stuff, and about his family life after that, and his charity work and all that. Yeah, it's very heartbreaking stuff. So, but very good. But Kyle, you're up first. So what you got?
Both these. Now this is tough because both these are awesome, and and what Val went through, he had an amazing career, and then unfortunately got throat cancer, and I love his send off and Top Gun Maverick, which was one of the most good scenes.
Kind of sad.
Great.
It was just really.
Yeah, and we just lost him this year as well. So, and the Superman one is just amazing. Superman documentary about Christopher Reeves, and it just shows you that just one bad accident can just change your life forever. Shame. So both these are amazing. It's tough, but I'm gonna go with the Superman.
Yeah, sounds good, Maria.
I'm gonna go with Val. I didn't. He was okay. I'd watch him. What was it? The one with the cow for the advertising secret.
Top secret. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, what a goofball. My kids love with that movie, quote, and all that stuff. And I thought he was kind of weird, but no, I got him a whole lot better after seeing this, and I'm glad I did. Especially in line of coming back. It was, such a good way to see him, but also terrible. Oh, well.
Yeah, understood. Brian?
Yeah, I enjoyed both of these. I liked how Val Kilmer, how his son's navigator for it. And I was treated with them to do it. Superman is a good documentary. He sure has the same thing Tim Curry had. They both in the wheelchair now.
Yeah.
But since we lost him this year, I'll go Val.
Yeah, this is a tricky one because I think these are both really, really good and good tributes to these guys, and getting a look behind the scenes of their life. I'll just go with Superman because I got a chance to see it in theaters last year, and it was really, really good, and it was kind of cool how it was supposed to be like this 2-night Fathom event thing, and so many people wouldn't see it that they actually just put it back in theaters for like a whole 2 weeks after that or something, just like normal show times. I thought that was great, and it kind of picked up some steam. So I'll go with that, but we'll have our first tie we've had in a while. So and I don't see Wolfman in the comments, unfortunately, so I'll go with Kyle. I think you're next on the ties.
Oh, do I have to break the star on this one?
I know. Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
And that is gonna suck. Yeah.
We lost Cal this year. But for me, I'm gonna have to go with the Superman one for me.
Understood. I would too. Yeah, we recommend all of these for sure. Again, check these all out. They're really good.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll go to Never Sleep Again, which I'll talk about in just a second, and An Inconvenient Truth, the Al Gore climate change documentary. Maria,
Right.
yeah, I think that's one of yours. So talk about yours.
Yeah,
and I'll talk about mine.
I'm not. It's not. I'm not in love with it, but I thought he gets a lot of ridicule for stupidly saying that he invented the internet or whatever. But I think he used the tools that he needed to do to get this. I think he got the message across, and yet nobody seems to be paying attention.
Mhm.
So I just was impressed by the whole thing, and I thought maybe it would be something that people want to see if they haven't already heard about it. But he doesn't put out the case for climate change and how we caused it and what we should do to correct it, and doesn't mean anybody's doing it. But anyhow, I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah. Never Sleep Again. It's similar to Crystal Lake Memories, only it's about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So it's another very comprehensive thing. It's 4 hours, but it flies by. It's the fastest 4 hours you'll ever watch. It's really, really good. Very entertaining. Again, goes into the history of Nightmare on Elm Street and Wes Craven coming up with the idea, and then it goes literally movie by movie. Again, grabbing a lot of the actors from those individual movies, grabbing the directors, special effects people, telling about how they did all the kills, in each of the movies, and the characters and all the story stuff and some of the continuity and even some their battle with the ratings board with part 5 and 6 and and it's also kind of about the rise of New Line cinema, because New Line, they called it the house that Freddie built, because Freddie literally this franchise helped build New Line cinema and helped them get money to expand. So again, a very comprehensive, fascinating look at the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Even if you're not a horror fan, or even you only see these movies once or something like that, it's still a fascinating, again, how movies are made, and just really great comprehensive stuff. So I really enjoy it. If I had to pick one or the other, I slightly pick Never Sleep Again, just because I think it just has a breezier pace, but they're both good. But Maria, you're voting first, so what you got?
I think I'll vote for my poor Al Gore, An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Brian?
I'll go Never Sleep Again.
Yeah, no, and I also go Never Sleep Again. I haven't seen Inconvenient Truth, obviously, and they even made a sequel, right? Years later.
Yes.
Yeah, it's out there. It's an important topic, and I think Al Gore gets more of the hate than the actual content. It's weird of the stuff.
Yeah.
We'll just put it down by making fun of Al Gore instead of actually addressing the stuff in the documentary, which is legitimate concerns. But I love Never Sleep Again. I blind bought it when it came out on DVD, and I've loved it ever since. So with that, but Kyle?
Yeah, Maria's Choice is an awesome documentary as well. But Never Sleep Again, I do love as well. And you're welcome. How engaging how fast that goes, because it's so engaging about the Nightmare franchise and how all the stuff they went through with it. So yeah, I'm going with Never Sleep Again.
All right, sounds good. Never Sleep Again. There we go. All right, and we are done. So there we go. Excellent job. Yeah, a lot of great picks. Before we go to the speed round, does anybody have any alternates or honorable mentions? And we'll go around the horn. So Brian, if you want to go ahead. Yeah, any alternates or extra ones you considered but didn't quite make the show?
Yeah, ones I considered were For Love of Spock, the Nemo documentary. Mm-hmm. Perfect Bid, The Contestant Who Knew Too Much, The Price is Right one.
Yeah.
I Am Chris Farley, Mad Hall Ballroom, and still Michael J. Fox movie.
Yeah, totally. And I almost had Hearts of Darkness on here. Yeah, the Apocalypse Now, documentary. It's just not one I've gone back to over and over again, but it is very, very good. I've had a few other ones, but I mostly got the ones I've gone back to over and over again. So I don't have a ton of shout outs. I think I accidentally deleted my alternates list, so I would shout out some more, but I forgot to keep it on there. But but Kyle, any extra ones you would shout out if you had a chance?
I don't have any.
Okay. No, that's fine. Maria, any other extra ones you want to shout out?
The actual name. It's the Pharaoh. I don't know if it's the last Pharaoh or the one day Pharaoh or whatever it is, but they made a movie. Cecil B. DeMille made this giant movie like they used to do. Oh, here comes Moses and the water will part, all that crap. Yeah. And they took all this gigantic statuary out to the beach in one of the California, I'm not sure what town it was, I've forgotten already. But anyway, they left it there when they were done. They just covered it up with some more sand and just left all that stuff on the beach. And so finally, after, 1923 now, that's almost 100 years ago, people are digging up stuff and thinking it's real, because they don't know what happened there. And then they did a documentary on how they were going to now have to clean it up now when they should have done it 100 years ago.
Was it called Lost City? Cecil B. DeMille? Was it called Lost City?
It was like Lost Pharaoh. So it's the title.
I googled it, said Lost City. About 10 Commandments.
No, Cecil B. DeMille film it. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's what it says. That's not what
I
remember.
just had Google, so.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, I'm trying to find the name of the one you're talking about. Yeah, Lost Treasures of Egypt, maybe?
The Last Pharaoh. That's what it's called.
The Last
1993,
Pharaoh.
Ramses II, a silent film directed by Cecil B. DeMille.
Okay.
And it
all
was
right.
it was split into two parts: a prologue depicting the biblical story of Moses, and a modern story in San Francisco.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just insane. All this stuff, the people are walking around going, "What? Why did they leave all this there?" And
Yeah.
I guess there's also a big fight underneath that with the city trying to own the stuff and sell it or whatever, and it's back and forth and back and forth. Anyway, I forgot that one. Darn it, I forgot it.
It's all good. No, it's all good. But again, yeah, we got some good stuff on here. So, well, we just talked about Val Kilmer, so I'll play this and we'll get into the speed round.
I feel the need for speed.
All right. Well, let's wrap this thing up and let's see what wins our documentary tournament here. We got some good stuff going up against each other, so scroll it out just a little bit. All right. So we will start with Brian first. We got Fire of Love and Oklahoma City here.
Fire of Love.
Yeah, because I started watching it. I'll go Fire of Love. Kyle?
Fire of Love.
All right. And Maria?
Fire of Love. I've seen it.
All right. All right. Fire of Love. We'll move on. Sounds good. All righty, there we go. All right, going down to Street Gang, the Sesame Street documentary, and Won't You Be My Neighbor? Another like kind of battle of the feel-good PBS documentaries, if you will. Me, I'll go Won't You Be My Neighbor. Kyle?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
All right, Brian.
Won't you be my
Please,
neighbor?
please, won't you be my neighbor? All right, won't you be my neighbor?
Terrible way of the sweater.
All right, Jim Henson, Idea Man, and Butterfly in the Sky. Another sort of family friendly one here. Jim Henson versus LeVar Burton. Kyle, what you got?
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson.
Right.
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson.
Yeah, one of my favorites from last year. I'll go Jim Henson. So. We could have a Jim Henson versus Mr. Rogers if they make it far enough. That could be interesting. Yeah, battle of the nice guys. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's right. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. Again,
First time in history.
Updating my names here really quick. Just give me a second. All right, Jim Henson, Idea Man. Woodstock 99 and Best Worst Movie, the Troll 2 thing. So we will go to Maria first.
Best Worst Movie. I'm going to try
Best
that.
Worst Movie. Sure.
Best Worst Movie.
Yeah, I'll go Best Worst Movie. Kyle?
Best Worst Movie.
Best Worst Movie. Okay. Yeah, I like the underdogs going through tonight. All right. We got This Film Is Not Yet Rated and Room 237. Again, two other kind of movie-centric ones here. Brian.
This Film Is Not Yet Rated.
Yeah, I'll go This Film Is Not Yet Rated. It's really entertaining. Kyle?
This film's not yet rated.
Maria?
I'm not yet rated.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. It's great. It's great.
I'm done with that.
Okay, that sounds good. We got I Know That Voice about the voice actors and Life Itself with the Roger Ebert documentary. Me, I'll go Life Itself. I really enjoyed that one. Kyle?
Life Itself.
Life Itself.
I would not know that voice.
No, understood. But yeah, Roger Ebert, I like it. That's some movie-centric stuff going through. Here's our wrestling matchup. I think we got The Backyard versus Beyond the Mat.
Oh, you're right. It did happen.
The movie that's kind of beyond the mat for backyard wrestling, and then the actual, wrestling documentary. Kyle, what you got here?
Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat.
Yeah, Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat.
Beyond the Mat.
Yeah, even I would go Beyond the Mat here. I think it's the more like polished kind of professional documentary. Yeah. All right, we'll go Beyond the Mat here, and the more famous one. All right, we got Grizzly Man and Three Identical Strangers. Okay, let's see what happens here. Maria, you're up first.
Grizzly Man, I can't let that thing go.
Sure, Brad.
Three Identical Strangers is a bad movie, but for this, I'll go Grizzly Man.
I'll go Three Identical Strangers. See what happens here, Kyle.
Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man going through. All right, Werner Herzog, good documentary. All right, but again, I very much recommend Three Identical Strangers on Hulu. Check it out. All right. So we'll go to the other side here, and we'll see what other matchups we got. And we'll start with I Am Not Your Negro and The King of Kong. Two pretty polar opposite documentaries, but yeah, right.
Well, I have to. Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's my turn. Sorry.
No, you're good. Brian's up first.
The King of Kong.
Yeah, I got to do King of Kong here. I've rewatched it a bunch of times. Kyle?
The King of Kong.
Okay,
Maria? I'll do my last person there, but I don't. I'm not
No,
gonna-
no, I totally
your
understand.
problem,
Totally understand. But it's I think you would get a kick out of King of Kong, Maria. It's
I
really
think I
fun.
would. I'm excited to see.
And it's also like 80 minutes. It's quick. It's a really quick watch.
And
It's
also,
fun.
it's on the real, right? Because I think Rich is a fan of it.
I think it's on YouTube as well. I think it's another one you can find pretty easily even on YouTube. All right, got the George Harrison documentary and the Howard Disney documentary. Me, I'll go Howard here, Kyle.
Howard.
Howard.
It sounds sweet. I'll do Howard too, even though I haven't seen it yet.
Sure, Brian.
Howard.
All right, Howard going through. All right, got some Disney stuff here. Jim and Andy taking on the Queen of Versailles. Kyle.
Jim and Andy.
Jim and Andy. Maria.
Queen of Versailles.
Queen of Versailles. Brian.
Yeah, much as I do enjoy Queen of Versailles, I'll go Jim and Andy.
And I'm going to the Queen of Versailles, so I'll tie it up to Maria is next on our tiebreakers.
I'm going to do the Queen of Versailles.
Queen of Versailles. I think you get a kick out of that one too, Maria.
I'm excited to see it. I can't wait.
Yeah, you got to dig around. I'll see if I can find a link to it somewhere online. I'll send it to you, Maria, if I can find one.
It's like about the fucking family. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Minding the Gap and Crystal Lake Memories, the Friday the 13th documentary. So I believe Maria is on first on this one.
I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to do the horror one there, but I can't read the little title.
It's Crystal Lake Memories. The Friday the 13th documentary.
Oh, Friday the 13th. Okay, Crystal Lake.
Yeah, totally. That's fine.
Right,
Brian?
I'll also go with Crystal Lake Memories.
Yeah, I'll go Crystal Lake Memories. We could get a Crystal Lake Memories Never Sleep Again if they make it far enough. We'll see. Kyle?
Crystal Lake Memories.
Because I think the same producers and stuff made both of them, I think, because they're very similar. Yeah, all right. So Crystal Lake Memories rolling through. Sounds good. All right, I got Murder Ball and Streetwise. Brian?
Murder Ball.
Yeah, Streetwise is a tough watch. I'm going to go Murder Ball, but it's very good. Kyle?
Murder Ball.
Murder Ball. Maria?
Murder Ball.
Murder Ball. All right, going through. Here we go. Okie dokie. Going down to Summer of Soul and Blackfish. Me, I'll go Blackfish. Kyle.
Blackfish.
Blackfish.
Maria. Blackfish. Brian.
Blackfish.
Blackfish. All right, there we go. Blackfish. All right, the whales. I got Tread taking on Electric Boogaloo, the Canon Films documentary. Kyle.
The electric one.
Electric Boogaloo. Maria.
Yeah, me too. Electric Boogaloo.
I think you get a kick out of that one too, Maria. I think it's on YouTube. It's fun.
Electric Avenue.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. And they named it that in 2 Electric Boogaloo. That's the subtitle of that brand. They made the Breaking movies, those breakdance movies from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking 1 and Breaking 2. Yeah, Canon Films made that, so that's why it's called Electric Boogaloo.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, Electric Boogaloo. Got Superman, the Christopher Reeve documentary, and Never Sleep Again, the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary. This could be a tough one, Maria.
Superman.
Brian.
I'll go Never Sleep Again. Make it thing.
Ooh, you throwing that in there.
But I'll go Never Sleep Again because I've watched it a lot, but I wouldn't mind either one. Kyle?
Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again. Okay, taking the upset here. All right.
All upsets.
Yeah, a lot of upsets tonight, but it's fun. All right, so let's move on. And I'll try to make a poll for this because, the next winners will be in the Elite Eight. So I'll see if I can remember to make a poll tomorrow. We'll try to do so of some of our favorite documentaries, let people get some recommendations. But we will start with Fire of Love versus Won't You Be My Neighbor. Which one of these go to the Elite Eight? Brian.
It's such a good feeling. Won't be my neighbor.
I'll stick with Won't You Be My Neighbor, Kyle.
Won't you be my neighbor?
All right.
Yeah, I just say, Won't You Be My Neighbor?
All right, Mr.
That one's
Rogers will roll through. All right, let me write these down at the top of my paper here.
Dare you to kick Mr. Rogers in the teeth and tell me that was
Yeah.
Was it a lot of lists, by the way, or it was?
It was on at least 2 lists, yeah. So it was a crossover, yeah.
Okay.
I think I ended up giving it to you, Brian. 'Cause you had it higher.
Yeah.
All right. Jim Henson, Idea Man, and Best Worst Movie. Me. It probably won't win, but I'll go Best Worst Movie. But I won't mind if Jim Henson goes through. Kyle.
Jim Henson.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do Jim Henson.
No, totally. Brian.
Yeah, Jim Henson.
Okay, Jim Henson. Yeah, for sure. No, it's fine. Jim Henson was in my honorable mentions for last year. I very much enjoyed it. I just, was voting for the underdog here. It's all good. All right, Jim Henson, Idea Man. Moving on. I think we will get that matchup next round, though. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that's tough for that.
Yeah, there we go. This film is not yet rated, and Life Itself, the Roger Ebert kind of 2 movie ones here. Kyle, that's gonna be a tricky one.
Ooh, Two good ones. Life Itself.
Itself, Maria.
I'm gonna do the film not rated.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Just
all right.
because it's special
Yeah.
for me, I'll go Life Itself.
Man, I'll go. This film was not yet rated, but yeah, I gotta tie it up here. But Brian, it's on you.
Life Itself.
Okay, I don't mind it because Life Itself was great. I think Life Itself was actually one of my alternates. So yeah, it's very, very good. All right, so Life Itself. All right, but I do recommend this film is not yet rated. I believe it's on YouTube, so check it out.
Definitely.
All right, Life Itself, and then we got Beyond the Mat taking on Grizzly Man. All right,
I better know who wins.
That's right. Maria, you're first.
The bear ain't gonna let those people hit him with anything.
Yeah, right.
I'll vote for Grizzly Man. I just was so shocked and changed by
Sure.
everything. Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, this is like all the turn fights you get these two matchups.
Yeah.
I'll go Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man. I'll go Beyond the Mat here. Kyle?
Beyond the Mat.
Okay, it's a tie to me. I got to put through Beyond the Mat. I'm a wrestling guy at heart, you know this. So, yeah.
Rest
at
in
least
peace
that's
there,
something.
dummy. Grizzly person.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Grizzly guy. All right. Let me flip my page here and transfer my stuff here just to make sure before we move on. So give me just a second. Bear with me. All right. Bear with me. I made it funny. All right. That's all right. All right. Let's jump to the other side. We'll see what else makes the Elite Eight here tonight. We'll start out with the King of Kong taking on Howard. And Brian's up first on this one.
Howard.
Yeah, I'll go the King of Kong, Kyle.
King of Kong.
King of Kong. And Maria.
Howard.
Howard, okay. We are back down because I broke the last tie. Kyle, you're back to the tiebreakers and you this time.
King of Kong.
It's yours.
King of Kong, okay. There we go. I like it. All right, so let me write that one down. We got the King of Kong. Okay, got some good stuff going through. I like it. Nice little diverse group of things here. All right, we're going down to the Queen of Versailles and Crystal Lake Memories. Hey, two of mine. All right. So, are you more interested in the billionaire housing crisis people or Friday the 13th here? We'll see. But it is on Kyle. On you first.
Crystal Lake Memories.
Okay. Maria.
Crystal Lake Memories, I guess. I'll go with the flow.
Okay, sure. Brian.
I'll go with the Crazy Housewife, Queen of Versailles.
Yeah, and I might actually go Queen of Versailles here. It's a lot of fun. But Maria, you got the tiebreaker, so you can decide on this one.
Oh, no. Queen of Versailles, I guess, because that's intriguing to me the most.
Maria, you'll love it.
I will.
Yeah, you'll like it. You'll like it a lot. Yeah, if you get a hold of it, I'll try to find it for you. All right, Queen of Versailles. All right, kind of a dark horse there. All right, and we're going down to Murder Ball and Blackfish for our next matchup. Brian, I think you're next.
Blackfish.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm way out of order here. I'm so sorry. Maria's up first. I'm sorry. I'm way out of order. I'm doing like three things at once, so I apologize. Sorry about that.
Right.
Blackfish, Brian.
Blackfish.
Yeah, I'll also go Blackfish. Kyle?
Blackfish.
Blackfish. All right, Blackfish. Moving on. Let me write that one down here. Blackfish. All right. Yeah, it's a pretty famous one. A lot of people have seen. All right. And I believe we've got Electric Boogaloo, the Canon Films, and Never Sleep Again. Two more of mine going up against each other. It's going to be tricky for me. Brian, you're first.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, I don't mind either one. These are both great. I'll go Never Sleep Again, and I'll see what happens. Kyle?
Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again. And Maria?
Never Sleep Again.
Wow, okay. I got a horror doc going through. I like it. All right, I like it. Okay, Never Sleep Again.
Trying to be different a little bit.
Okay. All right, so our Elite Eight officially, yeah, again, a nice mix of stuff. We got Won't You Be My Neighbor, we got Jim Henson, Idea Man, Life Itself, Beyond the Mat, The King of Kong, Queen of Versailles, Blackfish, and Never Sleep Again. Nice little variety. I like it.
Yeah.
Variety stuff. All right, so some movie-centric ones, some bio ones, got some heartbreaking stuff like Blackfish, got a horror documentary, got a documentary about the housing crisis and a crazy billionaire and a video game documentary. I like it. And a wrestling one. So nice little variety here. I like it. All right. So we're winding it down here. We're going to the final four and we'll see what takes it. I'm up first for Won't You Be My Neighbor, Jim Henson, Idea Man. Oh God.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. I might have to give myself the 10 seconds on this one. Oh man. Great. I know. I'm taking my 10 seconds here. I don't mind either one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jim Henson here, but again, I don't mind either one. We'll see what happens here. Kyle,
Jim Henson.
Jim Henson, Maria.
Mr. Rogers.
Oh, it's okay. I understand. It's tough. Brian.
This is a predicament, actually.
Oh yeah. Do you want me to play the
Yeah.
predicament thing? I could do that.
Yes.
'Cause this is a predicament.
Yes.
So yeah, let's play this
Well, it
one.
looks like we have ourselves a genuine conundrum. A quandary, if you will. A real-life dilemma.
All right, Brian, it's on you. Let's
Yeah,
see.
we'll see. Woodman there was on multiple lists for the real, but we don't see Jim Henson that much, so I'm going Jim Henson.
Okay, that was a close one. All right, but it did make the vote. But Jim Henson, Idea Man, in the final four. Okay, Life Itself, the Roger Ebert, and the Wrestling Beyond the Mat. Kyle, down to you.
Wow, two good ones.
Sure.
Life Itself.
Itself. Okay,
Life Itself.
so Brian.
I'll go Life Itself as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'll actually go Life Itself here. Again, it was on my alternate, so I very much enjoyed it. But I'll go with I love Roger Ebert, and I mess up terribly, so I'll go with that. All right, we'll go to the King of Kong and the Queen of Versailles on the right hand side.
King
Maria.
and Queen. Woo-hoo.
The King and Queen. That's right, a King and Queen matchup. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
that's right, a King of Kong and a Queen of Versailles. Maria.
Yeah, I'm going to do it with the Queen of Versailles. I can't wait to see this. I can't. I believe it's going to be my funniest
Oh my
thing.
gosh, you will shake your head so much in like cringy, like disbelief at this lady. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Arrogant,
Oh yeah, arrogant rich assholes. Right.
I don't like them much, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, the lady who can't find her dogs as well, Queen of Versailles.
Okay, I'll go the King of Kong here, but we'll see what happens. Kyle.
Queen.
Wow, the Queen of Versailles, kind of the dark horse here. I like it. All right, Queen of Versailles. Going to Blackfish and Never Sleep Again. Brian.
Never sleep again.
I'll go Never Sleep Again, but I don't mind either one going through. Kyle.
Never Sleep Again.
Wow, Maria.
The other one, which is I had the name and I forgot it.
Blackfish.
Blackfish.
Yeah, Blackfish.
No, totally understood.
20 years or whatever. Yeah, I forgot his name.
All right, Never Sleep Again. Again, we've got some underdogs going through here. I like it. So a couple of underdog documentaries.
Actually.
But yeah, it's a good final four. So I like it. I like it. All right, we're almost there. Yeah, on the left side, we'll start with Jim Henson, Idea Man, and Life Itself, Roger Ebert. Oh, God, this is another conundrum. I'm up first. Damn.
Battle of the Nice People.
Two great documentaries. I'll go Life Itself, but I won't mind either one. Kyle?
Life Itself.
Okay, Maria?
Life Itself.
So, Brian?
I work on Jim Henson.
Understood. Yeah, all right. Roger Ebert into the finals there. All right, Queen of Versailles and Never Sleep Again on the other side. Going to Kyle.
Never Sleep Again.
Never Sleep Again.
Queen.
Yeah.
Queen.
Ryan?
The Queen of Versailles.
Never Sleep Again. I'll tie it up, but it goes to Maria for the tiebreaker.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Queen of Versailles. I don't even
Queen of
know.
Versailles. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. We got. I would have not expected either one of these actually, so I like it. It's unexpected. All right, Life Itself, the Roger Ebert documentary, and the Queen of Versailles, which I've sold all the way to the finals. I can't believe that. All right, interesting. All right, I'm selling it just on the premise. But all right, here's the finals. Going to see what wins. Maria, you're up first on this one.
Oh my God, Roger Ebert! I've seen you in person. I've talked to you, and I feel bad for you. But God, I can't believe I'm so excited about this other thing. I'm going to pick it. Okay, I'll pick Queen of Versailles, and I'll be mad at myself later. Maybe not. I won't. I was very respectful to him when he was alive. So hey, you know.
I got you.
Not my fault.
Brian.
Do you want to have more fun with Queen of Versailles?
Wow. I'll keep Roger Ebert alive with Life Itself, even though these are both kind of my picks. Because I had Life Itself in my alternates. I just let I think Kyle had it higher, so I let him have it. But Kyle,
Life Itself.
Wow. Okay, we'll end it on a tie, and it goes to Brian.
The Queen of Versailles.
Wow. Okay. I did not expect the Queen of Versailles to win this tournament. Wow. I sold it all the way to a
Does
championship.
anybody know where Wolf was coming from? Because we haven't seen him, have we?
I don't know. I got one message from him saying he was at a graduation or something that for some reason is still going to 10 or 11 o'clock at night. I don't know how.
Let's go on. time.
But
Yeah.
all right, the Queen of Versailles. Well, hey, you know what? At least I can play the trailer, so maybe get you
It's
hyped
cool,
up for it, Maria. I'll pull a trailer real quick for it and then let you see a little preview
That's
of
fun.
it. Yeah, I can't believe I would not have expected me to sell that one over the
I have
finals.
I believe
It
I
is
have
very, it is very
23.
entertaining though. So there you got a lot of recommendations. There you go. All right, Queen of Versailles taking our tournament here. Interesting. All right, so
Yeah.
have that dark horse underdog win the whole thing. I like it. But yeah, I'll do my best to kind of pull this trailer very quickly while I'm conducting the plugs here, which is going to be difficult. I do my best, but it should be quick because there's no like fan trailers for the Queen of Versailles. I'll just pull the literal trailer and find that one. But Kyle, yeah, we'll get us some plugs here where we can find you. I know you got a lot going on, Kyle. What you got going on, man?
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. You can find me on my channel, Flett's Movies Pop Culture 13. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna be. I just dropped a review of Clown in the Cornfield today, but tomorrow, Cody Snyder wanted to do a Friday 13 Part 7 watch party to honor Lard Park Lincoln, who passed away recently, not that long ago. So we're doing that. And then on Tuesday, me and Analyzing Horror of Lauren will be ranking all Mike Flanagan stuff. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got 3 huge interviews coming up It's coming up soon here that I can't wait to talk about. So look forward to that once I announce those. And then at the end of the month, me and Our Life of Horror will be doing our 15 moments of 2020's horror, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. And then I do go see Final Destination this weekend, so you'll review for that as well.
I saw it today. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so if you like the other Final Destination movies, you'll enjoy this one. It's pretty simple. it's a good one. Luckily, it's not the Final Destination. Trust me. No, it's a fun one. It's very well done.
Sounds good. So that's
you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of content coming. So.
Sounds
did you
good.
say you're going to drop a clown in a cornfield? What did you say about a clown in a
There's a
cornfield?
movie called The Clown in the Cornfield. That's a movie.
Yeah,
right now.
I reviewed it.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Look for you on the news next time.
That's right. Yeah, Maria, anything you want to throw out there?
I'm playing games here and there. I've been in a couple tournaments. Did the most worst tournament play of my life on the day my son got his heart stents. I went down with his car into the parking garage. Don't do that, okay? There you go. And no, I'm around. I'm excited for everybody else. I want to hear what everybody else is doing. I'll go watch.
No, I got you. And I promise I won't go on for 10 minutes like Jordan does. I'll make it very quick.
Oh my goodness!
The trailer's processing right now, so I'll have it pulled up very quickly and we can wrap it up. I only go like 2 weeks out, so I don't go as far as you guys.
I'll wait for it. I'm excited.
No, it's all good. I got the trailer loading right now. So, but Brian, what you got going on?
Yeah, first off, this was a great episode. A lot of great documentations and great recommendations. You can find me here Monday for Zach Shelton's 138 Part 1. Some interesting movies in there. I'll say. About Best to Worst coming up next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I did change most places. I filmed match recently for Fandom, Piersco, Multiplex. Sometimes I'll rank them.
Yeah, sounds good. And as far as most of the stuff we got going on here on the Movie Hero Network, you can find me hosting or co-hosting a lot of stuff like this. Yeah, we'll be kind of rotating hosts next week for Zach Shelton's 128. Jordan will be hosting solo on that one, with Malcolm kind of co-hosting it because I will be at Monday Night Raw in Greenville. So I'm taking the night off, but then I'll be back because then Jordan's going to be out of town for the rest of the week. So I'll be hosting Wednesday the part 2 of Zach Shelton's, and then the championship of Zach Shelton Friday. So I'll be hosting those 2 episodes, so we'll roll that along. That's what we got going on next week. Myself and Richie will be doing Wheel of Movies next week on Thursday night at 8:30, and we'll be talking about Avengers Endgame is what we spawn on there. So a lot to cram in an hour. We'll do our best. There's a lot to talk about there. We'll talk about it. And I also am a part of the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast, which you can find a link to in the Movie Hero Network Facebook group every week, where we talk wrestling every week. So if you're a wrestling fan, tune in and we talk about that. And then, just a couple of the episodes. Again, I won't go as far as Jordan goes. But we have the after Zach Shelton's 128, we have the Battle of the Chris's. So the Chris Pine, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, and Chris Evans. So mostly like they're kind of non-comic book stuff. We'll have like one comic book representing each of them, kind of like when they like Thor for Chris Hemsworth, and then like Captain America: The First Avengers for Chris Evans, just kind of like they're representative of their character. Yeah, just Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, we won't go like every single one of their appearances because that would just be a Marvel tournament or a DC. We're not going to do that. So it's mostly their non-comic book stuff, in a tournament. So we'll have a nice balance of their non-stuff. We'll see who wins that. Then we've got a tier ranker series. We're going to start our alphabet series. So it'll be a tier ranker of A movies. So movies that start with the letter A. So we'll have a whole bunch of those, 100 or so, and we'll see who wins that. And then we'll be starting our drama series. We'll be doing a tier ranker, or excuse me, a tournament mystery series of drama movies, kind of like how we've done our horror series and our comedy series and all that, of just random mystery series of drama. So yeah, we'll be doing that. And then I'll just end with this one because I'll be hosting again June 13th a dad movie tournament. We just did the mom movie tournament. We're going to be doing our dad movie tournament for Father's Day. So all dad movies, and I'm a self-proclaimed dad movie expert. I love dad movies, and I've already got that rough draft ready to go for that episode.
Let's hope though we're mom movie there, like this past week.
No, mine are all certified dad movies. I can promise you that, because I just made a list of 64 certified dad movies that dads love and give the seal of approval to. So old war movies, older 70s comedies, Top Gun Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick are in there. 90s Harrison Ford movies. A lot of Clint Eastwood movies. Your Dirty Harrys and things like that. A lot of dad movie classics, yes. So Steve McQueen movies, all that kind of stuff. So certified dad classics, we'll be doing that. So I'll end it there. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I love talking to me some documentaries. Hopefully everybody out there got some good recommendations, some good stuff and things to check out. Go watch documentaries. Some good stuff every year. We'll wrap it up there, and I'll play the Queen of Versailles trailer. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm about to play the trailer, so stick around. And you got to get a snapshot of it, get a little preview here. But for Kyle Flett, for Maria Hammon, for Brian Nussbaum, I've been your guest host this evening, Austin Pez Howell, and we'll see you next time here on the Movie Hero Network.
My name is David Siegel.
My name is Jacqueline Siegel.
I am the founder, CEO of the largest timeshare company in the world.
I'm a 43-year-old mother of 8.
I thought she was the most beautiful girl in the world.
It took me a while to fall in love with him.
We have a great relationship.
There's 30 years between us, but he doesn't need Viagra. At least there is that option if he does. Like, I don't know if 10 years from now. We never sought out to build the biggest house in America. It just kind of happened.
It's bigger than the White House.
2 tennis courts,
30 bathrooms,
full-size baseball field,
10 kitchens,
antique furniture,
90,000 square feet.
Oh my God.
No, that's not my room. That's my closet.
No way.
Nothing's really normal about this life.
We're in line to do $1 billion in sales for the year. We're on top of the world. And it came to a screeching halt.
The market fell over 700 points.
I would say it's touch and go right now.
We don't talk about financial problems. I guess I'll have to watch the movie to find out what's going on in my life.
Everything changes.
This is almost like a riches to rags story. She knows we need to cut back, but she's still compulsive.
What time is it now?
Well, if I could afford a watch, I would tell you. Bankers are like vultures.
Our big problem is Vegas.
Our lenders have made it very clear that he'll have more money than he knows what to do with. He can go back to building his house if he turns over this building.
Over my dead body.
You can buy the palace that timeshare mogul David Siegel already wants to sell.
Just think of the bright side. You might not have to clean this house.
The American dream is raising way up above what you started with, and that is what she has done.
When you're down is when you find out who your true friends are. You get strength from your marriage?
No.
I'm in this fantasy world, until reality hits.